Okay, so for YouTube and stuff, small introduction, I guess. Welcome to Lufia II Rise of the Sinistrals, the Ancient Cave speedrun tutorial, quick and dirty. I'm Bamboo Shadow, and I'm joined by...
Real Critical, that would be me.
Welcome! Your two Ancient Cave quote-unquote experts. So yeah, this is sort of the attempt of doing a speedrun tutorial. Not that this is going to be complete or thorough or anything, you know, just to give like new runners maybe a quick heads up, or like, you know, how Ancient Cave can be run or whatever, you know. Yeah. So anything you want to add to that, RC?
Well, I don't know. I guess let's see. I mean, the way I plan to run this is not planning anything at all and just, you know,
just
answering questions that might come up or whatever, since I really don't know how things are going to go down. But let's see.
That's the thing, you know, just we're going to stumble into this and just to see where it goes. If you're watching live on Twitch, just if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. So, first off, we're running on the US version of the game. I guess technically you could also speedrun the Japanese version. I don't know if that will make like a lot of difference. Can you say something to that, RC?
The US version is the one that everyone runs, and I would recommend that for, you know, basically everyone understanding what you're doing. Because even though the Japanese version is content-wise identical, as far as I can tell, like more than half the people won't be able to understand what you're doing. So I recommend the US version by any means.
So that's
and
what
I
most runners
unrecommend any kind of PAL version.
Yeah, the PAL version runs at 50 hertz, so NTSC versions like the US or Japanese versions run at 60 hertz, so that's the recommended version. Also, to run the Ancient Cave, we're using the gift mode, so you have to play through the normal game and the retry mode, and then you unlock the so-called gift mode. If you're just starting out, you can actually download a pre-made save file on speedrun.com, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
In the resources or whatever.
So if you're running on ST2 SNES or on emulator, you can use that if you don't want to play through the game twice. If you're running on real cartridge, obviously you have to play through the game twice to unlock the gift mode, because that is what we're using. So yeah, that's basically how every Ancient Cave run starts. You can just reset by holding LR start and select at the same time. Get through the start screen with start and A, and then just start the gift mode.
Yeah, most important part, and tell people how the reset runs right away.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna do that a lot, kids.
We can't use Game Genie though, Reflect. So what we're gonna call our character today?
So, in the interest of being like complete about it, there is currently no rule against using the Game Genie code to unlock gift mode, which I guess is what Reflect means.
Okay.
But I would still recommend not doing it for, you know, logic reasons. Yeah, you determine the file name, man.
Yeah, so like opposed to other games, the length of the file name doesn't matter in Lufia Ancient Cave, so we can just call it, you know, whatever.
It technically loses you a handful of frames, like 2 or something.
Yeah, like you lose a bunch of frames, so if you want to be really fast, you can also just use
doesn't really matter.
Gonna call it tutor. Okay. Tutor. So timer starts on the file select screen once we press start here, so that's what I'm gonna do now, and start the timer at the same time. Oh, also if you're running on emulator, there's an auto splitter. You can buffer through these text boxes with A and you go into the tavern. The best party we're gonna pick for Ancient Cave any % is we're gonna pick Guy, Decker, and then Artie, and it's recommended to pick them in that very order. We will show you in a bit. So we pick up those characters, leave the tavern, leave Crew Barrack, and just jump right into the cave. Go to that guy, buffer through this text box with A, and go into the teleporter. So I'm gonna try to do save states before every floor, so I hope I get the buttons right.
Oh, geez.
Alrighty.
Just as a little correction, you gotta buffer with L, not with A.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can buffer with L and A, I guess. Both should work.
Really?
I guess,
Either
yeah.
me, but...
Oh,
Right.
L is
If you say
definitely
so.
a
I
good
don't
choice.
think so, but...
So, every floor is randomly generated. And what we're gonna do is on the first floors, we're just gonna explore floors and go through stairs as quickly as possible. So that's what we're gonna do right here. If we see stairs, we just go into them. And that's what we're gonna do for the first few floors. We're not opening any chests, just going through the floors and try to avoid enemies. So every enemy has a specific movement pattern. And we're not gonna go into the details about movement patterns today. You'll figure it out after a while. But basically, you wanna avoid encounters as much as possible.
How hard could it be?
Yeah.
Let me just say something regarding that. I mean, it's definitely smart not to go into movement patterns too much, but movement patterns are really important in this game. It's like the
really
first
important.
half of the battle system.
Yeah.
You cannot skip knowing about movement patterns when running this game. Let me just say that. But
That
yeah,
is
there
very
are
true.
other tutorials covering that.
So you can see like you can actually start opening chests on floor 4 or 5. It doesn't matter really much, but on the first floors there's only trash inside the chests, so don't bother opening them. So you can see some of the enemies move like randomly, like this beetle. We don't want to encounter him. But for example, some of the enemies are like sort of getting activated once you get close to them. That's what we're doing with this horse here. Just gonna put him behind this bush, and then we're outside of his activation, so continuing further. But yeah, those are the things. If you're not too comfortable, you can just kill some enemies on the early floors and level with that. And starting with floor 5, I'm gonna try and start opening some chests, because we're looking for healing spells and for some deadly weapons. I would say the deadly rod and maybe a deadly sword that can come in handy. I don't know if you want to add something to that.
Oh, you know I want to add some to that, but let's leave it at that for the time being. But yeah, also the Fatal Pick is of course very useful.
That is also a very useful item. So deadly weapons, can you just quickly explain how they work?
Yeah, so normally weapons deal damage like in any other RPG, but the deadly weapons have a chance on instant killing an enemy, and it's actually a lot higher than you would think, which is 80%. So people will joke that it's only 50%, but it's actually 80% until you uncurse them. So they're cursed weapons, you can't normally unequip them, but yeah, they're definitely useful.
They're very useful. If you're not finding curse lifters, then sort of your party member can't do damage to the jelly though, which is the final boss which we need to kill, but we'll get into that later again. So I'm gonna fight these eagles just to level up a little bit. This is like sort of a safer strat. And
the capsule.
Oh shit, yeah, sorry, I forgot to switch my characters. Okay, so this is why I recommended using picking up the characters in a certain order, because if you do that, then you can just really quickly change them in the right position, because you want to use change in the menu, swap Decker to Maxim's place, and then go into the capsule and change to Sully, which is like sort of the best capsule monster you can take in the cave. It's not that important, but he's considered to be the best, and we want to have Guy and Decker in the front row and Maxim and Artie in the back row. Maybe you can quickly explain why that is.
Yeah, so the front row characters deal more damage, deal more physical damage, and the back row characters get a damage reduction if they get attacked. So you want the beefier characters in the front, and both because they can tank better and they deal more damage as it is, so they get a bigger boost. And you want the weaker characters in the back row. When you have a deadly weapon and you're pretty much banking on the chance of an instant kill anyway, it doesn't matter whether the character is in the front or in the back row, so that character being Artie most of the time is really good to have in the back row, just to protect him. Also, Artie's a he.
Yeah, in some versions of some translations of the game, the character is a she, but yeah, we're gonna refer to him as he. So I leveled up a little bit. You start in the cave every time with 10 potions. You can use them on the early floors just to heal up your characters again, which is quite convenient. And if you're finding new equipment, you can always just go in the equip menu, go to Decker, and then strongest R, strongest R, strongest R, strongest R. That's how you can really quickly equip the strongest equipment to your party members. There are some exceptions where you shouldn't do that, but maybe we'll get into that later. Also on the early floors, you should try avoiding these, like, we call them convention rooms, where there are really a lot of enemies, maybe also some chests which can contain good stuff, but most of the time you want to try avoid that, just because you can lose a bunch of time fighting those enemies. It's best to go through these early floors the fastest possible, I would say, and just try to opening some chests. And yeah, look like for healing spells, that is always helpful. Maybe some offensive spells. I like to have like some so-called tier 1 spells or other spells to kill cores, which we'll get into on when we get on floor 11.
Yeah, so there's a mechanic that is relevant to this battle. So the enemy just turned up. That is part of the movement system that we definitely need to go into. The enemy just turned up as you walk past it. So it's facing your side, which means there is a 50% chance that they get a free round of attacks. You get the same chance if you look at their side, and you even get a 100% chance if you look at their back. And that way you can really manipulate enemies to, or battles to go in your favor.
That is a problem with those enemies though, because they kind of move randomly. And also talking about that, some enemies, like for example these green blobs, they don't have like a direction they're facing, so they won't you don't have any chance of back attacking them, but they also can't back attack you. It's like always no first strike but also no back attack. And yeah, what RC just posted, we're gonna post that link in the video description below, because starting on floor 7 we're gonna get some chests called mimics, and this is a perfect example of showing them. You can see the top left chest is like a little brighter, I would say.
E-colored.
Yeah, so they also have like an activation radius. I'm just gonna equip stuff and make a save state. And you will see once I get close to it, it activates. But they have a certain movement pattern, so if I move correctly here, I might be able to get away from them before they catch me and get into the stairs safely. And yeah, also movement is really important. You see like these bulls. Oh, nice, a cancer rock. We'll talk about that later, I guess. Really lucky. So that was one of the lucky finds you can get on early floors. So these bulls, they like also have like a certain movement mechanic. Like you can see they're moving vertically 2 tiles, but if they're moving downwards, they're moving 2 tiles, and like all of these enemies have certain movement patterns, you know, but it's always depending on when you move. So if you're not moving, no enemy does nothing. So it's convenient if you want to like analyze the situation calmly. We still didn't find like any deadly weapons and also no healing spells. So I'm gonna continue opening chests. But if I find stairs like here, then I'll just go into them. So this is like a very bad situation. If the stairs are behind that door, there's a mimic like camping in front of it. I can't go past it, so that's why I'm exploring the other rooms first.
Yeah, there are some enemies you always want to dodge, which is definitely mimics, because since you're normally, if you're going at fast speeds, you're going to be at a really low level. They can actually deal damage and kill some characters. There are other enemies like those pink moths from a second ago. They're just annoying. That's why you want to avoid those. They're very unlikely to kill you, but yeah.
Oh, that is a crowded room, so I don't want to go in there. I'm going to explore that floor further and hope there's something else, somewhere else where I can go.
So floor 9 is the last floor where rings, shields, rocks, and helmets will be dropping. So it's not terribly important. We got a cancer rock out of it, it's already pretty good. But just so you're not surprised, those items will not appear for the rest of the cave, except from enemy drops.
Luckily they're not really useful, so yeah. Yeah,
occasionally they are.
Occasionally, yeah, you could say that. And you can see like in this room the way I move, some enemies have like movement patterns, you know, you'll figure it out after a while. He's gonna be the blue guy, he's always running around the circles. The green guys on the bottom left, they're always running away from me and such that stuff. And I guess now we're talking about just how to enter stairs. If you're entering stairs from the top, you should always on the next floor buffer up and R. That way this thing happens. I'm instantly turning up and looking up. Maybe you can say something about that, RC.
Yeah, so for the longest time we used to enter stairs from the bottom because it used to prevent surprise attacks on the next floor if you happen to start right next to an enemy or the enemy above you, more likely. So this relatively new, I want to say, tech does get rid of that. Now you can enter the stairs from wherever you want, and you just hold R and hold up, and that's it.
So if
Definitely
you're
do that.
just approaching the stair from below, you can just move in it from below. And yeah, like also talking about movement tech just for a little bit here. You can see, for example, those like scorpions, they're moving like always in sort of a 90-degree angle compared to where I'm moving. And there's a technique called R slashing. So if I'm standing here and I hold the R button and I slash and press left, for example, you can see I'm not really moving anywhere, but I can manipulate the enemies that way. So that is really helpful sometimes. Also, you can see like the blue guy, he's always moving if I do a slash. So we use that a lot to manipulate enemies. So basically slashing and R slashing is a really good way to manipulate movement patterns. I guess there's not that much more to say about that, but yeah, slashing and R slashing are really important techniques when it comes to manipulating enemy movement patterns. So you can see basically I can stand still and send that scorpion any way I want, you know, once I understand his movement patterns. So that is a really cool thing. And yeah, I do that just by holding the R button.
It's definitely very cool and actually very, very useful in many parts of the run. Whenever you have an enemy that moves relative to your direction, you can use that to basically remote control them. There is also Hadouken slashing, but it's entirely useless, more or less. And another thing to get, like, I would recommend getting used to immediately is when you're standing next to a chest, like speaking of the R button, when you're standing next to a chest, always turn into the chest while holding the R button in order to not lose a step from... Maybe you can demonstrate that, but
yeah,
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure.
That is something I would definitely recommend getting used to right from the first run.
Definitely, yeah. So you can see, like, if I want to manipulate that blue guy and just passing him safely, I can just stand still, slash twice, and then I know his next step will be further to the right, so I just move to the left, and I get past him without an encounter. So that's a really convenient movement technique.
What I want to say there, can you load yourself to a save state really quick that you just made? Because what you can also do, and I see a lot of runners do what you just did, but it's not that important because you can just walk 2 steps to the left.
Yeah, that would be the same, of course. That would be the same, yeah.
Except you lost like time for doing 2 slashes for no reason whatsoever. You know, like if you know what you're doing, you can just walk. You know, as long as there's an equal distance between the 2 of you in tiles, then yeah.
It's sometimes difficult to calculate if he's like if he's like further away. So I would say for beginners, the safest strat would be like to keep your distance and just like slash. Or for example, what I'm doing here is I can see like these guys that are like running around in circles. They sometimes get stuck here. So what I do is I get inside the door and move till he's like at that position, until he's like 1 tile away, and I go down, down, and you can see he's like just, you know, I passed him without any problems. So it's like just some minor movement techniques right there. But yeah, there's like, we could spend hours talking about movement, but let's go further into the cave because we want to get some cores. And you can see some of these tiles, you see like the difference between those 2 bushes. Under those bushes, there's always like a healing tile. You know, you remember the MP healing tiles from the normal game? Those are not existing in the cave, there's only like normal healing tiles. And yeah, if you find a healing tile, you can kill every enemy in that floor. Small
but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But it's definitely great to have it on core floors. I will say that.
Yeah, especially because we're finding some cores here, so I'm gonna equip my strongest weapons I found until this point. You can see again, I go to the menu with the X button, go to equip, and go to Decker, and it's strongest, and just by using R to swap the characters and A to do strongest. So I'm gonna do that usually really quickly. Go to equip, strongest, do that for a couple of times, and then we get into the battle. The cores are really weak to spells. I don't have any offensive spell yet, so what I'm trying to do is to kill them just with my weapons. So let's see if that's gonna work. I can just buffer the L button and do auto attack with every party member. Okay, that didn't work. So the beauty is in this tutorial we can just load the save state. Try to get a different RNG.
Don't do that in a regular run.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that in a regular run, but for tutorial purposes we're just trying to get a kill on this core. And just buffer L to get through the level up animation as quickly as possible. And we should be around level 10. If you didn't kill any enemies yet, you're usually level 9. And we're level 9. Okay, that is not bad, you know, right off the bat. I'm gonna also use some potions I find to heal up my characters.
Why would you do that? Because I just explained how useful it was to have a healing tile on the same floor.
Absolutely, yeah, that was my bad. So what I should do is just go to that healing tile. You see, RC, that's why I'm having you here.
Yeah, that works. So the thing is, with those cores giving you so many levels, I already actually went from like 52 HP to some like 130 or a number of sorts. Which is actually more than double. So healing that with potions is actually very expensive on your, items. The healing tile will just give you free healing.
Yeah, it heals every party member to the top. That's really helpful.
Does not revive though, that's something to keep in mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also you could see me like a half a minute ago entering that room. I was like walking to the left a little bit just to get that blue guy out of my face. So that was also like a small movement manipulation right there. And I got another core kill, so now we're level 11. That's totally fine being on floor 12. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna look for more stairs and go deeper into the cave. Just, if you find a lot of doors, you just have to watch through all of them and look for the stairs. These two tile hallways, they're like annoying. So what I'm trying to do this, I try to manipulate the enemy. Like right now he's facing down, so I try to sneak past him. That way I can get a 50-50 encounter for a first strike. And also realized I'm not healed up, so I'm gonna go back to that healing tile. Oh, and we'll find more cores. That's actually not bad.
This guy.
I'm gonna try to battle them as well. And there's actually one staying. They're not that helpful. Once you're level 11, they're not giving that much more experience, so level 11 is totally fine. Once you're level 11, you shouldn't be looking for more cores, it's fine. Now get like level 12, and that's it, that's level-wise, we're absolutely fine. You should have sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're looking to just get out at weird level 3 range, because that's really too squishy. Anything level 10 or above is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad how you demonstrated what happens when you don't try to sneak behind them and you immediately get surprise attacked.
So that was a 50-50 chance for the enemy giving me a surprise attack, which you saw what happened. They get a free turn to attack me. So I'm trying to do that the other way now. So I'm just standing here slashing. Okay. Their movement is quite random, so let's see if I can do this. Ah, dude.
And they will move towards you with a 25% chance, or just stay idle otherwise. Generally speaking, you want to stay as close to the enemies as possible, especially, it doesn't really matter which enemies, because as long as you can make sure that they won't encounter you, then it's best to stay as close as possible, because in this hallway, when they're facing away from you and you want to sneak through, the least steps you have to take, the better.
Exactly. And also you saw, now I got the first strike. There was a 50-50 chance of that happening. So that was pretty good. And that was a way to get through that floor. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna fight those cores just for whatever. So.
Yeah, why not?
And oh yeah, I wanted to show the thing with the chest. I'm gonna do that after this core. Oh no, it's only one. Oh, but he's staying. Actually, cores have a 25% chance of staying. So that was very lucky. And
very nice.
Yeah, you can see they have a lot of defense, though I'm almost doing no damage. So if you have a healing, if you have an offensive spell, definitely use your offensive spell to make sure you're actually able to kill them once you have the chance to kill them, because they're really fast. They're usually always faster than your party.
Yeah, so starting at blue cores, which is the next iteration of them, you're pretty much always going to have a spell if you're not terribly unlucky. But what's kind of useful to know is that early on the red cores, they have 10 HP exactly. So that's the number you're shooting for.
Exactly. So what we wanted to demonstrate further is probably... I'm going to show that probably in a room where we have enemies that are actually moving. You know, the turning towards the chest with holding the R button. Because once again, every step you make, shoutouts to Sting, the enemies, the enemies are actually moving. So if I'm going into this room and I want to open that chest, I get left to the chest and then I hold the R button, turn to the right, and then press A to get stronger, which is a really good healing, not a good healing spell, but it's a healing spell, which is decent.
Worst healing spell.
It's the worst healing spell, but I'm glad we're having a healing spell at all.
So I want to say something else. I mean, you can go on, but you killed some extra cores here, even though you said right beforehand that you don't necessarily need to. And that's actually a very good thing to do for beginner runners, which is just get some more experience, just open some more chests, you know. You might be tempted to look at some speedrun videos and see that people hardly open any chests and like try to go through the cave as fast as possible at like ridiculously low levels. If you're starting out, just do yourself a favor. Level up some more, get some better items, and just be able to survive some more dangerous situations later on until you feel more confident and know which battles to pick.
I can absolutely agree to that. So starting on floor 15, we're looking for the most important item in the game, which is not the Civil Rapier, which isn't too bad of an item to have at this point. It's a very strong weapon, a quite strong weapon for Maxim. It has heal attack and it has a 3 times attack, which can come handy when it comes to the final boss, which we want to kill. And
it has a holy attack or a light attack, not a heal attack.
Yeah, sorry, a light attack or holy, yeah. Sorry. And we're looking for the Decker Blade. I don't know, maybe you can say something about the Decker Blade.
Yeah, so we already covered the deadly weapons before, which is one special type of weapons. Now there is also another special type of weapons, which is fractional weapons. So they have an IP attack. I mean, I guess we didn't talk about IP attacks at all, but let's just call them special attacks that you get from your equipment. In short, so some of those allow you to do fractional attacks, and the Decker Blade is the strongest out of them all. So assume your enemy has 1000 HP, and the Decker Blade will actually deal 50% of that plus the front row bonus. Oh, nice! Which would be in that case 550 damage. So. Yeah, with a jelly at the end, having 9,980 HP, that means the Decker Blade will deal like 5,500 damage on average, which is a lot, as you can probably assume. So, yeah. All fractional weapons are nice to have, but the Decker Blade is the one you want the most, and it starts dropping like one of the earliest weapons at floor 15.
Exactly. And also we found a curse lifter, which is a really important item because that enables you to uncurse your deadly weapons that you can equip to Maxim, the deadly sword, and to Artie, the deadly rod or fatal pick, which we haven't found yet. So we keep opening chests till we find one of these weapons. Not that we have to equip them right off the bat, but it's definitely important to have them. I would say on floor 50 plus, because later in the cave the enemies are getting really strong. They get a lot of health points, and it's gonna become really difficult to kill them if you don't have a deadly weapon equipped. So I look what I'm supposed to be at least level 10. We're level 10, that's good. We actually found the Civil Rapier. You can also find the Burn Sword here, which is like not too bad because it has the fire element. And a lot of enemies are weak to fire, I would say.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I'm not really sold on the Silver Rapier. I'm not sure why you picked that out of all things to drop there. But yeah, it's, I guess, not too bad to have.
Maybe a good backup weapon to have if you don't have anything for the jelly. And I just wanted to add, you can see these enemies, they are called Aquamentus. If you don't find any cores at all and you're still quite low leveled, you can actually try to fight these and always try to encounter these like this way, because then you get a 50-50 chance on getting a first strike. So I'm going to do that once again.
Yeah, you call them Aquamantis, they're called Antares, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There is also a way that you can get a 100% chance of them, but that might be too in-depth for this tutorial.
Yeah, like, but I just wanted to say, if you're getting 4, they're dropping 1000 experience, and that's not too bad. If you have a water spell like Dragon or Vortex, you can pretty much one-shot them with that spell. So that's like, those are enemies I like to use as a backup experience, a source, if I'm low on experience, if I don't get any cores, or if I only get 1 core, whatever, you know. If you still want to farm experience, you can use these guys. What are they called actually once again?
Antares.
Antares. So talking about enemies and stuff, there's a really cool webpage made by Real Critical, which you can access over his webpage, which is like the so-called AC ref. We're gonna post the link of that in the description below as well, which has information to every enemy you can find in the cave. It also shows which enemies can appear on which floor, etc, etc. Just regarding on which enemies are appearing on which floor, usually most enemies are only appearing for free floors. Like the cores, you saw they are appearing from floor 11 till 13, so most enemies are only appearing for free floors. And after that, there are other enemies appearing in the cave. So we still don't have a deadly weapon, which is kind of a bummer. So I definitely will try to open more chests, or like as much chests as possible, even though I already saw the stairs. So because I really want to find a deadly weapon to make sure I can finish that run.
Yeah, so while you do that, let me just mention that there is also an AC guide done by Creekspire, which is what I would actually recommend beginners to look into. AC Ref is more of a lookup tool for if you already know what you're doing, and the AC guide has some actual explanations on why you should do things and how you should do them.
Absolutely, like the AC ref is something you should always have open when you're running the cave if you want to look up whether item is good or bad, or what if you're yeah, it comes in handy. It comes in very handy later if you want to see how much IP one weapon takes. Like if you're talking about those special attacks we're gonna need to kill the final boss, the jelly.
Pretty sure you saw the stairs under the cobalt in that vertical corridor, but I only saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I guess I already saw the stairs, but I think I wanted to explore this floor further to get like more items. So this is always something you can do. You can, if it's like safe to move around, if there's like no enemy camping in front of a door or something, you can just like, you know, feel free to explore the floor, but try to avoid encounters, because most encounters just take unnecessary time and also endanger you. If you don't have like a healing spell, you know, enemies are dangerous, and especially starting from floor 20 onwards, they're getting stronger and stronger. So yeah.
And we were actually both wrong, and you didn't see the stairs, so...
Yeah, right. They must be behind this guy.
So, the Sand Gorem, yeah.
The Sand Gorem, yeah. So I'm gonna equip again, just to make sure I have the strongest equipment equipped. I'm full health. And gonna encounter this guy. I actually have to battle through them. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Yeah, nothing much to do there but attack, I guess.
Yeah, like this is the kind of situation where it's useful to know about elemental weaknesses. So if you have an ice or a water spell, you can use that against sand gorems, and if you have a fire or a thunder spell, you can use that against green clays. if you don't know the elemental weaknesses, then like Bamboo said, having a guide open can help you, or having AC ref open can help you. But also, like, I mean, in this case, both of these enemies are resistant against all elements except neutral and what they're weak to. So yeah, you're not gonna have a great time trying to beat them down with regular weapons, but unless they're actually neutral.
Yeah, like this is one of the fights where we have to get through. I wasn't able to escape from that fight because they're just blocking the door, and their movement patterns. Their movement patterns is that they always follow you. Yo, nice radish kick. Movement,
when you're close, yeah.
Exactly. So like these guys, for example, they're quite easy to manipulate. You can see they're like always moving sort of along with you, up and down. Oh, shouldn't get too close to them though, because they're really strong actually. And you can see, for example, those pumpkins, they're always like teleporting, moving one step, teleporting, moving one step, teleporting, moving one step. And you can see, like, if I'm right to the chest, if I'm moving against the chest, the enemies are still moving. So what I want to do here, if I want to get next to the chest, hold the R button, turn to the chest, and then use the A button. That's like really a beginner mistake you should try to avoid right off the bat. Alrighty, so we continue opening chests, and I also have to update the description with like a few notes. Like these notes are not complete or anything, you know, just like some rough guidelines if you want to go for the cave. Also, I can recommend using the splits. I'm also going to put a link in the description below. I try to make some splits where you have like, you know, like some info in the splits on which floors, on what to take care of. So I find that for me that comes in handy when I run the cave, just to for a reminder, point A on which floor I am, and point B on what I have to take care of on that certain floor. I hope I explained that correctly.
Yeah.
So aside from the music changing and like the aesthetic of the cave changing, we're just getting stronger enemies. Like for example, you can see the swords, they're like sort of tracking movement patterns. They're always following around other enemies if there are other enemies, which is quite convenient. If they're not other enemies, they're just like randomly walking through the room.
Yeah, normally like the 20th floors don't have a lot of enemies you want to fight. There is nothing you want to go after for experience. There is a lot of stuff that can actually hurt you. Oh, and I'm seeing a deadly rod. It's great.
And we found our first blue chest.
Oh yeah, what's it gonna be? Oh, it's a ruse.
So maybe you want to talk a bit about blue chests?
Yeah, since you didn't take the optimal party, which is containing Selen Kappa, you cannot equip the ruse armor because it's a girl only item. But yeah, for the any percent speedrun, the blue chests versus red chests don't make a lot of difference. Other than they drop really early. Like from floor 1, the chance of getting any blue chest items is the same as on floor 98. And all the weapons have really strong attack power and or strong IP attacks. So whenever you get one of those blue chest items, it's most likely going to be a good thing. Or you're going to get catfished or engaged. Both is pretty bad.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see, like, starting on these floors, we're going to have the bees. The bees are really annoying and really strong and also really fast, so we want to avoid them at all. Their movement pattern is like 0, 1, 2, 1, 0. So you can see they're like 1, 2, 1, 0 and not moving at all. Now it repeats, but it's totally random in which direction they're moving. So I don't want to be too much in this room to try avoid an encounter with them. But what I'm going to do here is we found our first deadly weapon, which is actually the good deadly weapon. We have the deadly fatal pick or deadly rod for Artie. The deadly rod is better because it has a if we uncurse it, it has a 1/8 fractional attack. And since I already found the curse lifter, I know I can uncurse that weapon for the jelly, which will be really helpful if we actually make it to the jelly. Let's see. So that's what I'm equipping right away.
What happens if you equip it is you can see the item shows in red, and you will not be able to unequip it again until you actually curse lift it. However, do not uncurse the deadly rod until you're actually at the jelly, because the instant kill chance is 80% right now, but if you uncurse it, it still has an instant kill chance, but it's only 10%. So, yeah, until you're at the jelly fight, there is no reason to uncurse it.
So you just saw that, you know, I one-shot that red guy. That was really good. Try to get through these battles without the enemies attacking me. Okay, that's good. I got poisoned, but I have an antidote, so I'm using that for Artie.
So what happened here is you can see both of these enemies. First of all, they don't have a facing, which means they don't change, their sprite doesn't change direction, not in a meaningful way anyway. When you move left or right or whatever, they always face the same way, so you cannot get surprise attacked by them, or you cannot get surprise attacks on them. And what actually happened is that Bamboo got out of the first fight without fighting anyone, but in the second fight he took a hit, which means he was actually in a speed tie, which I will not go into great detail, but like sometimes that happens when you think, okay, I'm faster than them, and then you get in the next battle and you still get 1 or 2 attacks in. That sometimes happens.
So right here, I don't want to explore this floor anymore. I just want to be really careful around these bees, because there are 2 of them. And you can see their movement is really random. So if they're getting close, I just get back into the door, and I move to the side till they're like going away. So that worked out pretty well. So that's always like a safe strat you can do if you're like in a doorway, you know. Like doorways are actually, you know, they're like your safe point, you know. If you wanna
Most of the time,
yeah. If you wanna be safe from enemies. Yo, thanks for the raid, Death Mask. If you wanna be safe from enemies, and this I gotta take the chance. Okay, good thing the bee was standing to the left there, because that way I was actually able to avoid that encounter. Like we said, the bees, we're not gonna demonstrate it, but the bees are really strong.
We're not gonna demonstrate it. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. We actually want to finish this run, right?
I mean, you got save states, but...
Yeah, but you know, just and so you can see like these guys are mimicking our movement. Those guys are actually called, I guess we call them shy teleporters. So you can see, like, for example, if I'm standing close to them, they're always teleporting. If I'm standing further away from them, you can see they're just randomly moving through the room. So there's also a way I can manipulate them just by standing on one spot and slashing my sword.
Yeah, most teleporters actually behave in this way, or the way you saw with the pumpkins before, where they teleport and move randomly, interchangeably.
But especially when you're starting running the cave. Nice, champion. That's a good healing spell. We're gonna use that later a lot. You wanna just move slowly like I do here. Like I'm stutter stepping, you see. Just to make sure that these guys get out of the way. And just gain enough distance to them. Just also take care of these snail guys. Starting on floor 28 or something, there can be some enemies called ammonites, and they're really you don't want to go to breakfast with them and whatnot. Alrighty, so we're just continuing through the cave. What did I write there? Take care of bees, evil fish, ammonite. Okay, red saber. That's sort of a good weapon. Crystal one and silver sword. Like some of the weapons I wrote down there. That's like some of the items you can take care of. But yeah, basically 20 floors. I guess you already said it, RC. You know, just try to use your knowledge about movement and stuff. You know, like you can see like these dogs, for example. They're also interesting. You know, if they're close, they're like moving towards you. If you're away from them, they're like moving away from you. Like it's interesting. So like definitely recommendable to try to watch and try to understand enemy movement as much as possible. I guess there's no other way to learn it though.
Yeah, and the way to move an enemy behind the bush and that way gain some distance between you and them is also very useful. If you missed it, then you might want to look at it again.
Yeah, like some of the some examples I showed there. Okay. There's Ammonites now. That's right, there can be dangerous enemies, and especially starting with floor 29, we're having the blue mimics, which are some of the strongest and trolliest enemies you can get. So, oh yeah, there they are. So once again, we're gonna post a link in the description to recognize that this is not a real blue chest. And
I'm gonna post again in chat. There is a way to tell whether they're like, sometimes they can be on the stairs, in which case you will have to beat them in order to progress through the cave.
I'm trying to show that, just for a sec.
You can encounter a different enemy if you're unsure, and if, like, you can see the blue chest sprite disappearing right before entering the battle. And if there was a stairs underneath them, you could see that. But there is also a way to determine, due to the floor layout, whether there is a stairs, or whether there could be the stairs below them or not. But yeah, again, that's probably beyond the scope of this tutorial.
Yeah, so this is just like you saw, like the fade in animation for the battle, and yeah, like that, you can use the fade in animation with encountering another enemy to try to figure that out. And you can just use some of the potions, life potions on Decker, because I want to boost his HP, but like those potions are like really almost useless, you could say. Whatever.
Yeah, the speed potion and the life potion are the ones that make the most difference.
So you can see the difference. That blue chest had the sort of like reflection on top, so I knew that would be a real blue chest. Unfortunately, only had the boom turbine, which I can't equip, I guess.
Yeah, already can.
Ah, okay, nice.
Not the worst item. I mean, it gives you a bit of defense. Otherwise, it's pretty useless. But defense is nice-ish. It does make a big difference, but it's also not exactly harmful. So
yeah. So, starting on floor 31, we have the last floor with blue mimics. And I also know those red guys are like also doing the 90 angle degree movement, so I can manipulate them. Those like undead guys, you can see they're always doing the teleporting, then one step, blah blah. So I guess I'm just gonna take the stairs and commence further into the cave, right?
yeah, sure.
So those are like one of the trolley floors, which are really small. So right
I
there,
see what you did there.
I don't really need to fight those enemies. I'm just gonna go further and start looking for some blue cores, which would be like our next enemy, which we want to farm, because like normal enemy encounters just take longer. And this guy, for example, he's like always following me, so I can't get into that room. So just gonna explore some other rooms.
Okay. So while you do that and look for some more blue cores, there is a few things you want to look for during the run, and then we actually found a lot of those already, which is the deadly rod first and foremost, as in a deadly weapon for your fastest character. So you can kill enemies before they get an attack, which would be the deadly rod and the fail pick. Those are your two only options. Then there is the curse lifted, then there's healing spells. So we actually got all of that already, which is just great.
Yeah. Also, we found a healing tile, so let's see what we can do here enemy-wise.
So one thing that's important-ish in this room is that enemies cannot cross the healing tile, at least not on their main tile. So those big sprites, actually, you can see they're twice as wide as regular enemies. I'm gonna take some time to explain that, since you're in the battle anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So their left tile is the tile they're actually on. Their right tile, you cannot pass it or whatever, but on the floor above, you saw the plant being on the chest with the right side of their sprite. So that's a, I guess, bug in generation of the floor. But you can see some other weirdnesses with the right side of the sprite. So if that plant were to follow you, and the left side was going to go through the heal tile, they were actually blocked by it. But the right side does not block them. So Yeah, I don't know if you can or want to demonstrate that, but it's
I
a bit of a
guess
weird mechanic that's really...
I shouldn't in this floor, I guess. Though,
Yeah.
you know, some people would say if you find a healing tile, kill every enemy on that floor. And you can also
if
see...
you find a tutorial that say that, then get rid of it as fast as you can.
But you can also see like some of the movement patterns between the enemies get recycled. Like the top left green guy, he's one of the guys that gets activated once I get close to them. So I want to stay away from him because they're quite annoying. The bears are just like moving every 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and it doesn't matter whether I slash my sword or I move, but you can see. And also the those, I don't know, whatever flying guys there, the left, the
Tengu.
Tengu, they're called Tengu, yeah. They got the B movement. 1, 2, 1, 0. 1, 2, 1, 0. 1, 2, 1. No, don't get too close with me, please. Okay.
At this point, it's a dancing tutorial.
Yeah. So let's see if I can survive them, just because I'm standing on the healing. Also, fun fact, you saw that I got on the healing tile, but the healing animation actually happens after I did the battle. So you can see that
not
happening.
just the animation, but also the healing.
Also healing, yeah, sure. Yo, Radish Kick, nice. Usually they're quite strong and they can cast some spells, so those are some enemies you usually don't want to battle, but just for the sake of, you know, getting some experience, because we haven't found blue cores yet, and we won't because it's the last floor where enemies are spawning.
You can actually drag that plant around the healing tile if you want to.
I can demonstrate that. Yeah, that actually would be the only way to get into the stairs without having to encounter that enemy. So let's show some movement strats here. And you could also see, like, I was taking advantage of my movement knowledge here, because I knew the enemy would move like only every 3 steps. I do 3 steps, he does 1. So let's see if I can pull this off. So I'm activated this guy, and I know his center tile is the left one, so you can see. But he can. Oh yeah, that's what you said. He can move through the
right side can move through the healing tile. Yeah.
But I could have made him stuck there. But you know.
Yeah, you saw that he got stuck when he tried to move to the left when you were on the other side of the healing tile. So you know we're not bullshitting you. You demonstrated nicely. I will also say there would be another way to get around that enemy, I think, but
that was like the safe way.
That definitely works. I mean, the other one's not less safe, you just need to know how to do it, yeah.
So I did cut that bush to make that Tengu go out of that 2-tile hallway there.
Something I also like to say is that usually you want to leave bushes. You don't want to like cut them for no reason whatsoever. In situations like this, I definitely agree. Cut the damn bush.
Yeah, usually bushes are like sort of your shield against enemies. And once again, this enemy, like some of the enemies that are getting stuck on doors, you just move in that position and go down, 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 down. You can see, like, works out. Oh, the infamous 6-tile floor.
Oh, make a safe state. Oh, you can't, right? You're in SC2 SNES. RIP.
Yeah. The save state gets overwritten again every time, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could, you know.
No, I'm not gonna leave it, no. Not for the next 70 floors.
This guy.
Alrighty. So, floor, what did I write down there? Blue
shameless
cores?
plug. If anyone comes around that floor, if you could make a save state and send it to me, that would be really nice.
Okay.
There you go.
So, we have Garbosts, which are really interesting.
They drop a really good item, dude.
Yeah, so we're gonna battle them.
Yeah, so, as a matter of fact, we also already have a Cancer Rock.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the item they drop. Normally, you don't get it before this point. Yeah. That's an item that lets you attack twice per round, which is obviously useful in... Well, maybe not at this point obvious, but when we get into the jelly fight, it will be more obvious why that is a really handy thing to have. But we did not get the drop here, I would assume.
Which isn't too bad. Like 1 Cancer Rock should be enough. It just gives you 2 additional attacks on the gel, yeah. Stay away, okay. So those are the things you want to farm, the Garbosts. Oh, that's gonna be an interesting situation we're having here. Some of the enemies, for whatever reason, get stuck on doors. So right now there's no way I can get this enemy away from the door.
Yeah, you could get it away by approaching it from the bottom, but obviously you can't leave the room anymore.
Are they weak against heal?
They're weak against fire. I don't think they're weak against heal.
Okay, so this is one of the places where you could,
they could be.
put up the AC ref and just look it up.
Yeah. And that shows you they're actually weak against fire, heal, light, and water.
But they're immune against the deadly rod, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
all undead enemies are
dead.
Immune against shadow attacks and instant kill effects, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, undead enemies are sometimes weird because they're enemies like deadly swords or deadly armor, which look very dead, but they're actually not. But yeah, sometimes this game is weird.
That's not weird at all. They're pieces of equipment. They're not any more weird than mimics, which are also objects.
Okay,
there you go. You get bannered.
What do I get?
You got bannered.
Bannered?
As in, yeah, there's an enemy behind the banner.
Oh yeah, that's actually something you should be careful. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can talk about that bannered thing.
I mean, you just see that message that tells you which floor you're at, which is ridiculously annoying to me. And sometimes there will be an enemy afterwards, and you can wait for a couple of seconds, but that's usually too annoying, so you move beforehand, and when there is an enemy, especially a fast enemy like these guys, then yeah, sometimes you get into an otherwise unnecessary encounter. So these guys actually move twice for every step you take, which means you can't outrun them. Those assassins, I mean, you can see another one there on the right. And the goal in this situation is obviously to reach the stairs before you fight them, unless you definitely want that Garbos. So since we are a Vacance Rock, I assume Bamboo's gonna skip it, but let's see.
Actually gonna grab that chest, and that is actually one of the situations. Maybe I should load the save state here. You can see the importance of using the R button. Once I hold the R button, I'm turning, but I'm not moving. If I would be sloppy and move up here and just move to the left to open the chest, you know, then you can see I'm losing a step every time, and the ninja approaches really fucking fast. So yeah, what I want to do here is move up. You know, I could enter the stairs already, but I can see I have enough leeway, and the ninja also gets blocked by the Garbosts, luckily. So that way I can open the chest, go into the stairs, and be safe. So if we're having like ninja floors, you maybe also want to always wait until this blue box gets away, because there can always be ninjas behind those blue boxes, and yeah, it's annoying. So talking about ninja floors, or assassins floors in this case, like most people refer to them just as ninjas. Yeah, you want to be careful with your steps on these floors. That's one important thing. Also, you don't want to explore these floors too much, because if there are ninjas, you shouldn't be encountering them. They can kill your party members, and they're really strong.
Yeah, so you can also do something called, or I guess most people call it, door checking. When you enter a new room, just stand in the doorway, walk into the wall, so to speak, and you will see whether there is an assassin in the room. And yeah.
So what I did there is to get this assassin in a sort of this position, because they're always moving to horizontally and then vertically. So when I slash my sword now, he's facing down, entering me. So maybe I get a first strike. I got the first strike. So one small movement technique you can use there.
Very nice, yeah. One other thing to explain, and you're already utilizing that, is that there is a front row and a back row. So the enemy on the left here is in the back row, which you can see by it being slightly higher up. And the one on the right is in the front row. So you can see Bamboo attacking the left one with the deadly rod, well, at least in the first round.
Yeah, I switched now because the left enemy already took damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in the first round, the back row enemy, just like for your party, the back row enemies take less damage. So you want to target those with the deadly weapons, and the ones in the front row with the regular weapons, just to make sure you're getting the maximum damage in, unless you really, really know it's not important. Yeah, so this guy is facing down here, and you can actually...
Yeah, there's no other way, so I have to take that battle. Sometimes you can manipulate them so they're facing left or right. I guess I'm gonna do that with
below the door, you can do that.
Yeah, right. So gonna have to take that battle. I hope they're nice to me. So like my normal attackers attack the rightmost because it's front row. Oh. And the you can see they're really strong. And Artie attacks one of the ninjas, assassins from the back row. And I'm also using my IP attacks. So like they're sort of special attacks. And you can see like we have 3 bars. We have the HP bar, the MP bar, and the CM for whatever.
No, that's the command. Thing, like the IPs to the right. Command shows you which input you have pressed in case you forgot what you did 2 seconds ago. That's really useful. But yeah, the IP gauge is your Ikari points or anger points, you could say, and that fills up every time you take damage. And like I said before, it lets you do attacks that's granted by your equipment. So each equipment item might have a special attack assigned to it.
Some don't, that's right. Oh, also let me check. I found a deadly sword a while ago.
Unfortunately.
And deadly swords are actually 2 kinds. You should always, before equipping, double check them with the X button. If it says this text, the longer text, it's a fake one. Don't equip that. Always maybe feed that to a capsule monster. Gives them a lot of experience. And don't equip that. It's fake, it's useless, it's bullshit. If it only says an ominous looking sword,
and it's also bullshit, but...
then you could maybe equip it, but you know, like, it's okay. I already have deadly weapon for Artie. 1 deadly weapon is sort of enough. I'm more of an offensive guy, so if I find a real deadly sword, if this would have been a real deadly sword, I might have equipped it, but then the problem again would have been if I wouldn't have found a second curse lifter one until we get to the jelly, one of either Maxim or Artie couldn't use a normal attack on the jelly, so that would have been a bummer. So yeah. I'm gonna feed my capsule monster. Just
the reason. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The reason that you equip a deadly rod before you find a curse lifter is that Artie can get away using spells normally just fine. But if you already have
Thunder, for example, that's not a really good spell.
So yeah, Thunder is the second strongest attack spell, so Artie would be pretty well off here. But the thing is, if you do not get a curse lifter for all your deadly members, whatever, deadly wielding characters, then you're gonna be stuck with a weapon you cannot use. And in Artie's case, like I said, it's not too bad. But then again, the deadly rod has a fractional IP that is really useful. And as long as you don't have the Deca Blade, it would be an option I wouldn't want to throw away. So yeah, at this point you could equip the deadly sword, saying I'm gonna uncurse the deadly sword and I'm gonna live with the deadly rod, but the deadly rod still does more damage. So yeah, unless you have curse lifters for all your characters, I would recommend not equipping the deadly sword, but
it's always depending on the situation.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, exactly. It's always depending on the situation. So yeah, like talking about items we're gonna need later to kill the jelly on floor 99. Still don't have the Decker Blade, which is a bummer, but we have more floors to get it. You know, it drops. It can technically it can drop on every floor starting from floor 15. So that's why we're still gonna open more chests. To get stronger items for the other party members. Also to get healing items like a miracle. I had to use a miracle to revive Maxim earlier. Miracle can revive your party member and also fills up all of your MP and HP, which is really helpful. Because we don't have a revive spell yet. There are 2 revive spells, Rally and Valor. We haven't found either of them. So, and I have to go into that room, which can be... Ah, damn it. Yeah, these multiple-headed guys are really annoying. But since I have a deadly item, I hope I be able to handle them. Okay. Because they're always attacking all party members and they're quite strong. But I guess I'll be able to handle it. Come on, Artie. So you can see the advantage of Artie being the fastest party member and almost always attacking before the enemies are attacking.
Yeah, which is definitely useful and definitely an advantage over the Deadly Sword, because the only character who can equip the Deadly Sword, the real one anyway, is Maxim. And he's a lot slower, unfortunately.
So I took that encounter that could have gone wrong. And the samurais are on my back, but yeah, it worked out. It worked out. Alrighty, so we're on floor 41. I'm gonna change the description. Oh no, that was wrong. Like this, I guess. Okay. What did I write down here? Okay, green course. Perfect example. Okay, running into green course right away. Actually, level-wise, it's looking pretty well. If we're looking, we're already level 21. You want to have sort of like between level 20 and 25. And I'm not having a cheap offensive spell. That's actually a bummer. Should I use Thunder on these guys?
Your call, man. It's your run.
Okay, I'm gonna use Thunder on those guys just to make sure they're core staying. Spilling the magic points. But yeah, I'm not too eagerly trying to farm those green cores because they're giving me a lot of experience, but you know, I'm not gonna farm them if they're like really out of the way. So maybe if this Hydora can get out of the way.
Yeah, like the thing is, if you're going for any kind of core and go out of the way for out of your way for any kind of core, it is the green ones. They're definitely the ones giving you the most bang for your buck.
Yeah. I'm just gonna use champion now. Don't have X potion, X magic, but I have 5 miracles, which is nice. That also can always use that to heal my MP. So first floor with green cores was nothing for us. This guy is like always moving in squares. But if the square isn't possible, then he's like running for 10 times against the wall like you just saw there. And then we have more cores, let's see. Not using RC healing strats, yeah. Alrighty, nice. The green cores have 30 damage, but also a lot of defense, so this is kind of...
HP,
yeah. This is kind of OP using Thunder, which is a really strong spell and costs also a lot of MP. But I really want to make sure I get this enemy down. And you can see I'm leveling up at least 2 or 3 times.
What I've seen a lot of new runners do is against the stronger cores, like the green cores and no cores, use stronger spells because they think the lower ones might not be enough. So any spell, it doesn't matter which level you are, any magic attack spell kills any core. So
yeah, they have like 0 magic defense, or like it rather feels like they have minus 300 magic defense.
Yeah, definitely. They take a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah, but they also like take a ridiculous not amount of damage from physical attacks, so... yeah, like I said, kind of a bummer I don't have like a weak offensive spell, but also not that super important. Oh.
Yeah, so the only downside of not having a cheap one is that it costs more MP. So if you have a bazillion MP, then just whatever, use the strongest spell rather than missing out on the core.
Or you just get like 100 miracles like I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, my level is 24, so I'm not gonna explore this floor any further. Or maybe I should, because like I'm not satisfied with not having the Decker Blade yet, but maybe not.
So actually on this floor I would recommend just going to 50, especially if you have this high of a level, because at 50 you're gonna get a lot of good weapons, so, or the chance of a lot of good weapons.
I will take that recommendation with me. So, starting on floor 44, we're having ninjas. They're like the movement is the same as from the assassins. Oh, what are these guys doing here? Interesting. Oh, they're moving towards that plant. Okay. Those red guys, you don't want to encounter them. Usually it's 2 and they're attacking 3 times, so you're taking 6 really strong hits in your face. So don't attack them. Don't encounter them. Like the 2 red guys, not the roses. So, but you can see they have the ability that they're following the other enemies. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Don't encounter ninjas. I hope we don't have to encounter ninjas. Okay, that's.
Oh, I hope we do.
That's pretty decent because we're getting the stairs right away. Gonna use them again, and we have the last ninja floor. And yeah, there are ninjas here. So this is perfect example of what can happen from floor 44 till 46. So if I get a floor like that, I have the iron golems to the left and the ninjas to the top. I just get the fuck out of here because both enemies are quite strong, and I hope I don't have to go into that room again. If I have to go into that room again, then I have to battle through these motherfuckers, but if not, I'm happy to leave here. So I'm just going down and encounter these guys.
Which drop really good items, dude.
Yeah. Brinz lizards.
So Brinz lizards,
yeah.
Or
Go
the
ahead.
blizzard lizards are famously weak. Their blizzard spell does almost no damage, as you can see here, and they do have a strong attack and they do have a strong special, so they can sometimes be challenging, but most of the time they're really no threat at all, and you can just farm them for experience and their item, which you did not get here.
But I was lucky. You saw I didn't have to go to that room to the top there. If there weren't the stairs here, then I'd have to like look for another way. But yeah, that was lucky. I didn't have to go up there. If yes, then well, let's check out the situation up there. Could be interesting. Oh shit. Actually, that one ninja stuck against the bush, but you can see those iron golems. They're moving twice if they're like going horizontally. So yeah, if the stairs were like up there somewhere, then yeah. And yeah, shoutouts to r/slashing. You can see if I'm not moving anywhere, you know, just can make use of your knowledge about enemy movement.
What you can actually do here, try to get one of those remote control guys to the right of the ninja, and that lets you explore the whole room just by going to the right. Like if it's directly to the right of the ninja.
That's what you meant, yeah.
Yeah. Now you can just. Well, actually, if you gotta move left, then yeah, you don't want to go that far.
Yeah. Okay, let's hope I survive this fight. So now we're gonna see.
I meant like if you didn't have the stairs already, you know, you could get some mileage.
Sure. But we have the stairs already. But let's
go back to.
Let's try to show people why the ninjas are so bad because. Oh yeah, they can one-shot you, like you can see. Guillotine is a very strong spell. Luckily they're weak against... No, they're not weak against... Okay, interesting.
No, they're not weak against anything.
Ah, too bad. Okay, so let's hope I survive this. They can also do knife thrower. Knife thrower. Oh, it's only a shot. Yeah, there you have knife thrower. You see, it's a really strong attack. But, yeah, luckily everyone but Decker survived. This is fine. But yeah, like you see, no, not good to go on brunch with them and whatnot, you know. So now we're gonna have to use that regain to revive Decker. Also, just a basic rule of thumb, if you have regains, use them on Decker and Guy. If you have miracles, use them on Artie and Maxim, because miracles also heal the MP. Regain only revives and gives 100 HP. So... revive there. I'm just gonna use champion to heal all of us, so that's convenient. Alrighty, I'm gonna heal up Artie's MP again. Okay, well, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. As a side note, guillotine, as in their instant kill attack, only has a 3% chance, so that was quite unlucky.
Most of the time you get just knife thrower in your face.
Yeah, which is even worse.
Yeah. You can see it does a lot of damage. And if you get like 3 ninjas and all 3 do knife thrower, then God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, the legendary blizzard from the Brinz lizards. Yeah, I'm gonna try to boost Artie even further, because like the twist jewel gets like what, 20 agility boost?
30.
Oh, that's really nice. So that's what I want to have, especially later if I'm gonna do something like IP farming. But yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah.
I mean, for the purpose of this tutorial, you should definitely IP farm.
Well, maybe
Even
I
if you
don't
don't
need
need
to. You see, like I have really good IP stats, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you still want to show it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, beginner tutorial, yeah, and you gotta figure out how to IP farm.
Yeah,
How hard could it be?
Just get 100% IP on every character.
Just get
Easy
lucky.
peasy. Yeah, just, just do your thing, You know what to do. No need to talk about that. So
I mean, if you can get lucky on command, this is the run for you. Say that.
Yeah,
so we're closing in on floor 50.
Yeah, we were careful of ninjas, at least somewhat. I mean, I made the save state. So green cores, we got those. Gonna try to get the twist jewel. And you saw me just like running into that enemy because he doesn't have like a turning hitbox. I know I can't get back attacked, nor either. Also, I can't do a first strike, so if you want to battle these guys, just run into them. Let's see if I can get lucky. Nope.
Yeah, so on the topic of save states, if you're actually a new runner, I would advise against using save states. Simply because it might like make you feel safer and whatever, and obviously for the purpose of this tutorial it's really handy to have them. But if you actually have a life or death situation, then yeah, try to power through it and don't try to have like, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you'll get used to it, yeah. I mean, like, save states are really helpful to figure out enemy movement. If you don't know enemy movement, just get close to them, do a save state, and then try to figure out how they move, It's really just your experience with the game that lets you get better and develop the knowledge you need.
Because, I mean, there is also guides, but...
Yeah, but like, I always feel you have to experience it for yourself so you actually remember it,
Definitely. What I meant was don't use it like regularly in runs, don't rely on save states rather than knowing what you're doing.
That is definitely the best way to play the game, especially considering that, of course, if you're speedrunning this, you're not allowed to use save states, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're allowed to make them, you're not allowed to load them.
Yeah, so, you could say
Icewalk is a great find here. So we already have Thunder, which is a strong spell, but Icewalk is handy against Hedoras, and like the 50 floors have two types of Hedoras that you can farm for an item that could be useful. But like maybe you need to get rid of them and need to cast an extra spell.
And there you saw a perfect example of the annoying kind of teleporters, which we call the non-shy teleporters or something, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can see once I'm close to them, they're just moving, and once I get further away from them, they're teleporting. And that's why you want to, like, really, if you got these guys in the room, just stutter step. That's what I always would recommend. Just take it slow, and you can always see them flashing before they teleport at a certain point. So just stutter step your way through. Make sure you're not encountering them. Go into the stairs and say goodbye.
Yeah, so these enemies here are called Demise. They're not too bad. Later on, the same encounter spread has leeches, and they're the last enemy you want to face.
Oh, yeah.
And in combination with this movement pattern that Bamboo just explained, which is, in my opinion, the worst movement pattern in the cave.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's a very terrible enemy. You definitely want to know like how to best move around them if you can, at least maximize the chances to get away from them. If you get them in the hallway, it can get really nasty.
Oh yeah,
I got the clips to prove it.
And there we have a combination of the shy teleporters, like the vampires, and the non-shy teleporters, the leeches or like demises. And yeah, just, if you're starting out with a cave, make sure you're going slow. And there's the third teleporting pattern, one-step teleport. So we have all three teleporting movement patterns on one floor. Just if you're starting with a cave, just try to make sure that you take your time, watch the enemy behavior, and try to figure it out.
Exactly. Okay, Skitty.
What's up, Chaos Kitty? So also with knowing the movement pattern, I was able to sneak around this guy twice actually, because I know he only moves every third step. So that's really helpful. Okay, time to change the description again. So we were careful of ninjas, and Lizard Blow and Old Sword are dropping on starting on floor 50. So maybe you want to say something to that.
Old Sword is another fractional. It has a 1/6 of the enemy's HP IP attack. And the Lizard Blow is a type of weapon we didn't talk about yet, which has a 3 times attack, which means the IP attack will deal 3 times as much damage as the regular attack would, roughly, anyway. And yeah, obviously, we're all collecting that kind of thing for the Jelly boss fight in the end. There you go.
Sorry, just made a boo-boo.
That's fun.
All right, just get the hell out. Their movement patterns is just really annoying. Oh god, I hate these floors. I hate it every time these guys are slashing around.
Step, he says. Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So, yeah, there is a reason these floors are sometimes called the disco floors. There's just flashing lights everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It really gets annoying.
So aside from that, there's not too much happening. We get the chance of like collecting a sort of substitute cancer rock, one could even say, which is called the Hydora rock, which we can get from the sea Hydoras and high Hydoras. You can see their spawns in the description to the left. And yeah, I just wrote in the description, I don't know if you agree to that, RC, have at least one deadly weapon equipped by now, because right now the enemies are getting stronger and stronger, they have more HP, and yeah, you want to make sure you find a quick way to get rid of them. Also, entered another convention room here, but yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, so at least have one deadly weapon equipped. If you don't have a deadly at this point, I suggest you still keep going, because you can still fight your way through the cave. It's
absolutely, yeah,
like absolutely possible to do that. Like at any point, generally speaking, try to work with the equipment you got, and yeah, just try to make the best of it. Even though your PB will probably have a deadly way before this point.
Alright, so we're facing a difficult situation. We got some, like these sprites, remember these sprites, we'll talk about them later. We're having, should I fight the fiends?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Oh,
guaranteed
okay.
evil jewel drop.
Yeah, well, let's see about that. They can be quite strong. But they're also dropping a really good item, like RC just said, the so-called evil jewel. Actually, Decker died. That wasn't a good thing, because I don't have a revive spell yet, but I'm gonna try to battle through here. Dude, why is Artie missing all the time? That's not fair. Maybe I'm just gonna load
80%.
Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna load that save state, because like this is really unfair.
Unfair, he says.
Yeah, like Artie missing twice. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I know. I mean, I would have escaped. Okay. Well, this is very bad. This is very bad. Let's see if I can actually survive this on my own terms. Okay, luckily Artie is fast, so that is one of the situations, where you have to be prepared. Luckily, I have a lot of miracles.
So
should I load the save state? Okay.
One thing to mention at this point here is. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna load the save state and show you how I would have played that situation usually, because you can see they're quite annoying, the fiends, and they're getting even worse. I would have just escaped and moved into the stairs and goodbye. That's actually how I would have played this room, but yeah, you go ahead.
Well, now you moved out of the room, so now I can't. But I was gonna say, when you escape from a battle, you actually get one free turn of movement for that enemy you just escaped from, or the enemies you escaped from. So even though you were still right next to the fiend when you entered the stairs, since you had that one free movement, you didn't encounter them again.
That's actually, yeah, that's
Did
useful.
Did you skip a blue chest?
Yeah, I want to go to... Okay, why did I skip that blue chest? That's actually interesting, but You saw like the fiends we just found out they're really strong, and I think I have to go inside that guy's activation radius to get the blue chest, so I'm saving that blue chest until I know where the stairs are. So that's like just one small tactics optimization. So I'm fighting those sea Hydoras just to get another Hydora rock maybe, or not. They have like a 15% chance of dropping, I guess. Something around
15?
that. You can look it up.
20.
You can look it up on the AC ref.
Yeah, 15 it is.
So yeah, talking about what to do on floor 50 onwards and shit. Hydoras, you know, like the backup cancer rock, you get a triple attack.
Yeah, 1 triple instead of 2 doubles, so either way it's 2 extra attacks. But, I mean, the Hydora rock is the better one. But, of course, the Cancer rock, you cannot get the Cancer rock anymore at this point, so you would have to decide whether you farm a Cancer rock before you get here.
Artie is not too accurate today, but luckily I have Ice Walk, and I know Artie is faster than those guys, even without the Twist Roll. So I'm gonna use Ice Walk because these guys are weak against ice and should at least kill one of them. But you can see now when they attack, they're really strong. So always back attack these guys, like really no compromises there.
Yeah, what you can do if you have Ice Walk, that's why I mentioned it before, is you can just double cast with Artie and Maxim, and that will usually get rid of them.
That's right, yeah. So I'm gonna use a miracle on Artie. Just to replenish her MP because I have so many miracles, and that's actually
his MP.
Yeah, sorry. So now I've seen the stairs, and now I know where I have to escape if I'm gonna trigger those fiends. And this kind of behavior you want to remember for oh, actually oh no, you saw there, he's activated, and you can also see like his left tile is the center. You can see if I'm like going around here. You can always see his left tile is the one that is like going alongside with me. So, bye-bye. Luckily, they're like, they can go through the healing tiles, but they get stuck on bushes. So yeah, use bushes to your advantage if you want to like manipulate these enemies. Especially those 2 tile wide enemies, you know, you can sneak through the bushes, but they can't. So that's really helpful. Like you can sneak through there, but they can't. So, bye-bye. And also we found the Mega Axe, that's a pretty good item.
Yeah.
Gonna equip that right away.
As a blue chest weapon that has a very high attack power, and that would be a great weapon to combine with the Cancer Rock or the Hydora rock, because as we just mentioned, that gives you 2 additional attacks. So, no brainer, that's a really good combination with a high attack power weapon.
Definitely, yeah. So still, we can find the Lizard Blow, which is definitely helpful. We can find the Old Sword, which would be helpful. Anyhow, I'm just gonna continue to open chests. Which is like never a bad choice, you know, don't, like, that's basically what I guess we can encourage everyone to do, you know, once your levels are fine, and level 26 is definitely fine for floor 55, you know, don't do stupid encounters, even if you have 1 deadly or even 2 deadlies equipped, you know. Just try to open chests to improve your equipment, because like levels don't matter that much, but equipment matters a lot, you know. For example, the sort of world record for this category is on level 1 with a jelly. So like technically you can kill the jelly having level 1. Just for comparison, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna kill some more Sea Hydoras just to like have maybe Hydora Rock. You know, as a backup, if I don't find the Decker Blade or anything, you know, I might be useful to have the Cancer Rock as well as a Hydora Rock.
You found a silver eye in that blue chest just now, of course, because apparently you're being really lucky this run.
Yeah.
So most rocks of blue chests are alrightish or alrightish to good. Some are useless, but silver eye is especially great because it adds agility, and that's what you want for your deadly user. So it also adds some intelligence, which is of minor importance, but can be a nice extra boost, I guess.
Yeah.
But the agility is the part that really matters.
Well, that was lucky I got out of there, because like this sprite you see right there, those guys are Sophacos, and they're attacking a lot of times, so you really don't want to encounter them.
Yeah, so generally speaking, strength and agility are the two scores that matter the most, and everything else is relatively... It affects things, but not as much as you would think. So defense, intelligence, magic resistance, they're all kind of, not as important, so don't prioritize them by any means. Of course, if you got great armor, equip it, but if you don't, whatever.
Yeah, armor really doesn't matter that much. Like, as well as level. I guess level, you know, like, I try to hint out in this tutorial, we try to hint out in this tutorial on which level you sort of have to have. Like, the world record run in the non-minute category has level 29 for the jelly, for example, and that's totally fine, you know. Oh, got a convention room right there.
Yeah, like, occasionally you'll get to jelly at level 26, which is really low.
Can happen, yeah.
Yeah, it can happen, but like even for, I wouldn't recommend as a beginner to try going for jelly at like level 30 even. So yeah.
And also try avoiding these floors we just saw, the so-called convention rooms. Even though there were a lot of chests. Oh, what am I doing? Even though there were a lot of chests in there, you know, it's not worth to battle through all these enemies just to go to these chests. So I'm rather skipping this floor, and I don't really know what to do here. Maybe I'll just try to squeeze through there. Okay, worked out.
Interesting. Interesting approach.
Yeah, like the flying guys there, they're quite strong, so I wanted to skip them. And yeah, we still need that dagger blade. That's really important to us. So, just gonna continue to open chests. On floor 58, which is the floor we're currently on, we're getting no cores, so maybe we'll find some no cores to farm IP even more, and we get the high Hydoras, so just try to continue farming the Hydora rock, because it's just like a good item.
Yeah. One thing we didn't mention is that it also adds agility, so that's what I also want to add when I was talking about the Silver Eye.
Oh yeah.
So
I try to. I think I showed it when you were talking about it, so you could also see
the Hydora rock. You know?
Oh, the Hydora rock. Okay, that's. Well, I mean, like we already have the Silver Eye for Artie. That's a 20 agility boost, which comes in really handy when it's when you have to outspeed some enemies. Some encounters, which you maybe have to take, you know. Sometimes you have just annoying enemies standing next to the stairs, like there, or maybe in front of some doors, so maybe sometimes you have to take encounters, and then it's really helpful if Artie is faster than the enemies. Oh, okay. Just YOLO'd through that enemy. Yeah, I
don't actually do that. Horrible advice.
So you can also see, like, those enemies are sort of in sync. You can see every third step they're moving. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually something funny to see that, like, that there are sort of synced. And you can also see the enemies. I don't know, maybe you want to talk about that, RC, you know, like if they are not changing directions and stuff.
Yeah, like when they're walking against a chest or a bush, they will actually not change their facing for reasons to actually discover today, but that's a different story. And that's just something to keep in mind when you're trying to get a back attack on them, like Bamboo did in the room with the Silver Eye, for example. Mm-hmm. I hate to have to point that out, but that's a really good example. Yeah, those Hidoras would have never turned into the bush, so...
Yeah, and also Artie did miss on the Hydoras, which is bad. But okay. Did the job a second time. Okay, no Hydora Rock yet though. Oh, and there we got some cores, which is nice. And those purple guys, their movement behavior is also really weird. Okay, we're fine. I don't have a weak spell yet, right? No, I don't have a weak spell. I guess, okay, well, let's just use Fry, whatever.
Good enough.
It's not that I really need the levels, but you know, it's 55,000 XP, just take it.
55,555 actually. But you get so much magic that it doesn't make a difference, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about before. Just use a big spell. Don't risk that your weapons might not kill them. On the other hand, you have a blue chest weapon, which is usually enough to kill them.
Yeah.
Take your gamble.
Okay. Last chance to get the Hydora Rock, I guess. So you can see I'm doing like really certain movement to manipulate that guy, that he's like always standing away from me. Oh, don't get too close, and always... I'm doing this in a really fast way, so if you like really... Okay, there, like... He did his third turn against the wall, he didn't move anywhere, so that's why I know I can move like 2 times safely without the enemy moving. So that's why I have a guaranteed back attack, just to like demonstrate on how I want to manipulate these enemies to make sure I get a safe back attack, because you always want to back attack these guys. You never want to deal like with a surprise attack, to say the least, or like to have a normal encounter.
Yeah,
No,
so
I don't
encounters
like
with the dragons next to the stairs before. When Bamboo was like saying just YOLO it, like don't actually do that. It runs for enemies as foreseeable as the dragon movement pattern that the Adoras share, for example. Like just never risk it unless you have to. Just take the additional half second that it takes to slash your sword twice or something. Like.
And there we have Salamanders. I actually don't want to fight them because they are really strong, as opposed to their predecessors, the Prince Lizards. Yeah. You can see their Phoenix spell does a lot of damage, so I guess I'm just gonna go into the stairs and say goodbye to them. Also, I only find miracles, I don't find anything to refresh MP solely.
Oh, miracles work out well now?
No, I want to have those miracles. But I also want to have the Decker Blade, so... this guy. So, I'm rather exploring this floor a little more. I mean, talking about what options we're having on... That was close. Talking about what options we're having on floor 60 onwards, we're having the chance to... Oh, that was close. We're having a chance of the Myth Blade dropping, which is like, yeah, not as good as the Decker Blade, but not bad, I want to say.
Yeah. It has the highest attack power out of every weapon, together with a Sky Sword. So again, it's a great option with a Cancer or Hedora, but most of all it has a 1/4 IP attack. So the IP attack is half as potent as the deadly, as the Decker Blade ones.
Yeah, and I absolutely don't want to encounter these Salamanders, so if you're seeing that red sprite... Also, let's see if I can do some movement shenanigans with those, No, I guess I can't. No. Sometimes I want to make these eyes... Like, those eyes, you don't want to fight them. They're really bad.
I was about to say, you can slash the middle bush and get them stuck behind the right one, or the other way around.
Yeah, but it's fine. And also, if you're sometimes entering these rooms, do like this sort of checkerboard movement like I just did there. What were we talking about here? like, you know, make use of your knowledge for the enemy movement. Like I just try to do there. Oh, gold golems. Haha. You don't want to encounter those. Get away.
Yeah, that's definitely
really
an enemy I
strong.
recommend making the safe side around, because they're actually really easy to out navigate, I want to say, as long as you spend some time yeah, just checking how they work. And of course you wanna take a look at that GIF for both Cyclopses and Gold Gorms to figure out what activates them. And as soon as you like understand how that works, then you're gonna have a really easy time navigating around them, as Bamboo demonstrates here.
And I just lured them to that door because I know I can go past them that way. Which is also something actually we haven't talked about yet, which is like floor memorization, I would call it, you know. It's really important also to like try to recognize the floor as a whole. Oh, and also not run into stupid enemies like I just did. Luckily I'm quite fast so I can run away. And you can see this enemy, I activated him and... Oh no, but I can get rid of him. Some of the enemies that are following you, like, follow you everywhere. Some others you can lose, like I just did there. And those are the more convenient one, obviously. Aside from that, what to do on floor 60 till like 61 till 70? What did I wrote there? Take care of warm eyes and gold gorms? Yeah, most definitely. Or like at least know how to handle them. You can see I know, because I know their movement, I was able to get close to them without having to be afraid of them. So like really, yeah, just knowing your movement for the enemies is like, I guess the most important thing when it comes to playing the cave, yeah.
I would definitely agree.
That way you just can safely navigate around some enemies. And the reason why I'm exploring that much is just because, once again, we need some more items if we want to have a jelly kill.
Yeah, so the Decablade isn't by any means required to get the kill, but it makes the whole fight a lot easier. And, well, it's definitely a nice way to show what's going on. That being said, we don't really have a lot of other fractionals, so...
Yeah, just the deadly rod, basically.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, if I'm in that situation right now, you can see, like, those warm eyes, you can do, like, this movement, for example, and they won't get after you, so that's, like, a small recommendation there. If you're facing some warm eyes and you have to get away from them. Alrighty, let's just try to open more chests, continue throughout the cave. Not too much to do on floor 61 till 70 to just like try to avoid the especially those like squids or whatever they are. They can be really lethal, so don't go into crowded rooms, especially if the hallways are like really thin like we have here. I hope I'll be able to manage to go through here.
Enemies like those squids are really easy to avoid, so definitely make sure you familiarize yourself with the movement pattern, because, yeah...
And they get stuck on doors. But just one word of warning, I showed that really quickly there. You could see them like getting stuck on the door and also being still for one step there. So that's like really something you should be aware. But yeah. That's like, you know, you'll figure it out once you encounter them.
Once you die to once or twice, you might think, oh, these guys were right. I should maybe pay more attention to them. Yeah, so those green dragons over there, or those are white dragons, you definitely want to dodge those.
Oh yeah.
They're not pretty.
And we're getting into the Cyclops, so I'm not even bothering attacking these guys with my normal attackers, because just they have like 2000 HP or something, and so I just want to kill them with a deadly weapon. So right now we can definitely see the advantage of the deadly weapon, and we have the fucking leeches. Oh, So stutter stepping it is.
Yeah, so as for any other teleporter, or well, rather for the shy teleporters, as we call them, once you know how they move, you can like move faster, you can skip the stutter stepping for the most part. With leeches, you can never really do that because, yeah.
Because the random pattern is the pattern that is like always going on if you're standing away from them. Yeah, well, you know what? I guess we explained that thoroughly.
Hopefully.
So
see, there is a side attack against the dragon, which I would definitely not recommend.
No. I can still do it because these are not like the super strong dragons like we'll face later. But that was kind of stupid what I did there. So, good point of view to point that out. Don't do that, what I just did there. But
there you go, that's... Idle Jewel is a total trash jewel.
Yeah.
Not only can just the girls' characters equip them, but it's also entirely pointless. Even if you had one of the girl characters, it would be absolutely useless.
Guess I'm just gonna take the stairs here. Because usually I want to explore some more in this situation, just because I'm missing... well, a lot of items. We still have 30 floors to get those items, but yeah. In this situation, we want to kill the jelly, of course. And
yeah, so I guess while you're chest hunting, let me explain the jelly fight, unless you have any objections.
No, go ahead.
So at the end of the cave, which is at floor 99, there's a boss encounter, which is the Jelly Juggernaut. And it's basically just a giant jelly. And there is a special condition to the fight, so you have to finish the fight in 3 turns. Meaning each character gets 3 actions. Well, at the most, unless they're dead or something. And... you're gonna have to deal 9,980 damage in those 3 turns. So your whole run kind of revolves around how you're gonna be able to do that. And yeah, that's kind of what I explained before. You're trying to get fractional weapons to or fractional damage IP attack weapons to deal large portions of damage at the beginning of the fight, and then you're trying to use damage dealers such as the Cancer Rock Lizard Blow, stuff like that, which has multiple attacks towards the end of the fight, so after your fractional attack weapons. And there is also a couple of other things you're looking for, which is Trick or Battle Lust, which is going to increase your attack power, or yeah, just some other more specific items, generally speaking.
Oh yeah, switch text, thank you. So thank you for that explanation. What did I write for floor 70 till 80? Gorgon rocks? Oh yeah, that I did fight those gorgons. I was really bad. Like I saw, I got surprise attacked because I really mismanaged the movement there. So that's why you always want to be careful.
Yeah, another enemy to mention is the Orky up there. Before you get into Gorgon Rocks, they look like Hedoras. They're actually not. So they have the same encounter sprite, but they will fuck you up if you encounter them and you aren't careful. So yeah, if you ever need to get in one of those battles, then make sure you either get a safe way to kill them or just escape.
I just want to show the sprite. So that's the sprite right there. And you can see double Orky, and just for the sake of the tutorial, you can see they attack 8 times each. And yeah, let's see
just
how
this... Just for the sake of the tutorial, you gotta get yourself beat up.
Yeah. You can see how annoying it is. And it's not only wasting time, it's just like wrecking half of your party. If I'm even surviving the fight, let's see. I guess Decker might survive the fight.
Yeah.
I guess I should have turned the boys in the back row if I wanted to survive that fight, so they don't take that much damage.
That would be an option, yeah. I mean, as Reflect points out,
Yeah,
that's reflect
also a
points
possibility.
Hardy can usually outspeed them and kill them before the first one deals damage. But if the second one kills even one of your characters and gets rid of their IP or whatever, it's really annoying. So
Yeah.
as usual, always back attack them like every enemy with a dragon movement pattern if you can, and just be extra aware that those guys are gonna end your run.
Yeah. Oh no, 2 dragons. I just went for the 50-50 and I'm getting punished right away. Nice.
Yeah. Which is good because, I mean, how many times am I supposed to say don't take chances on dragon encounters?
Okay, if you have these 2-tile hallways which are really annoying, then maybe sometimes it's best to just like walk against their yeah, the music was gone because I loaded the save state.
Probably an ST2 thing.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I should have equipped the silver sword. I found a silver sword for Maxim. Which is a good weapon for the jelly for Maxim. Because it's like the strongest weapon for Maxim with a 3x attack.
Oh, you have a silver sword?
Yeah, I just found it
nice.
like a couple of floors ago. So
nice.
Maxim is all set, talking about all set, this is one of the things you should start to think about when you come to floor 60 and onwards. Try to think of what your party members will do on the jelly fight. So every party member needs to do something. Like RC just explained, you only have 3 turns. So right now I would be, okay, Maxim has a silver sword. He can use that and attack twice and do the 3x attack. So, try to think of what your party members will do when you actually make it to the jelly.
Yeah, as long as you can anyway. So as long as you already know what options you have or what inventory you are currently packing. So if you're a beginner runner, you're probably not going to say, oh, look, a silver sword, that's a great option. That's better than the red saber, So it's probably fine if you figure out half of the setup at the jelly fight. But it's good to know that if you have a Decabladed, Gades Blade, Uncursed Deadly Rod, and a silver sword, then you don't need to open any more chests. That's basically, like I said, you probably cannot do that right off the bat, but that's a mindset you eventually want to get into, to keep in mind what you have and be aware of your options and what you still need.
Yeah, for example, I have the Cancer Rock, so I know Guy or Decker, depending on what I will still find. So I know these guys are able to use the Cancer Rock to get like 5 hits instead of just 3 hits on the jelly. And also I wrote always back attack the genies or the Cyclopses, and I just demonstrated that a couple of times. You can see what I meant by that. So just try to replay that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you fought so many genies. I'm pretty sure you showed every possible way of encountering them.
True that. So this guy, I'm trying to back attack. No, can't back attack him. Okay. Trying to get the Gorgon Rock. Should have gone for the 50-50, but whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
I have a rather high level, so I'm trying to get the Gorgon. Oh, there we go, the Gorgon Rock. That's actually really helpful since we don't have too many fractional attacks yet. So
that's your third one, yeah.
Third one?
Oh, double deadly rod.
Ah, okay. Oh, and now we have the Archfiends already. So, yeah. Maybe we'll have to go through an Archfiend encounter to get through some of these floors, so...
That's another pattern that's worth explaining. So those guys will activate once you're in 3-tile range of them, which again is outwards of their left tile. And once they're activated, they will follow you and they will track you across the whole floor. So even if you enter a different room, try to go around or whatever, they will still follow you.
I'm actually going to demonstrate that because I want to have that chest. So now I'm in the activation radius. They didn't move yet because because there is like the
They're
chest
moving
between.
down into the chest here.
But you can see I can manipulate them around here, and that way I can safely go through that door. But you can see, even though I'm through the room, they're still following me. So they will do that for the entire floor. Luckily, I already found the stairs, so I know I can escape and run away from them. So that's how you want to play them.
Yep. And one interesting thing to mention there, if you paid attention so far, you're going to notice, but since the left tile is the dominant one, you can like lure them around the bushes, as Bamboo just did, only through the right side, not the left side. Because if you try the same thing on the left side, they will get stuck on, in that case, the chest. And if you move one step further to the left, they will actually catch you on your way back to the right.
Oh so, yeah, that's definitely that's definitely something to look out for. Oh, Spark Staff, nice. Actually, use that though. That's a good item for Artie, but Artie usually has the deadly weapon equipped, so I rarely get to use it if I find it. The Spark Staff. A Hades Blade would have been way more useful, which is like sort of the most sought item in the cave, you could actually say.
Yeah, so part of what I wanted to get into before when I was talking about the jelly setup is that you don't always need a Deca Blade or the infamous Hades Blade, which I think is a good thing that we're not talking too much about, because most runs you might have a Deca Blade, but you're not going to have a Hades Blade. So my suggestion is don't even worry about it. Don't get like a, well, present company excluded. So yeah, don't like try to get a list of items that you definitely want to have. Like, oh god, I don't have a Hades Blade yet, you know, and like 1 in 30 runs maybe is gonna have, well, more than that, but only a small fraction of your runs will have a Hades Blade. So don't, you know, get crazy over not having it or not having a Deca Blade. Instead, think of other options. And that mostly goes for smaller items. So, say you don't have any 3 times a weapon for Maxim or Guy, you know, just try to go with the next best thing. The other characters and or the capsule might make the difference. There's a lot of leeway in terms of damage in 80%.
Most definitely. So, well, this is a international tutorial, so get wrecked, I would say. So
I don't know what that German said, but he was probably wrong.
Exactly. Regarding what RC just said, I'm gonna try to farm another Gorgon Rock if I can, because like those Gorgons, they're appearing until floor 84 actually. So since I only have for fractional items the Gorgon Rock and the Uncursed Deadly Rod, which isn't too bad, but not too well. This is like 3 times a 1/8 of a damage of the max health. Sorry about
you
that.
can actually that would be something interesting to demonstrate, but I mean it's mostly useless. You can actually use that remote controllable enemy there to get the Hades chariot all the way to the left if you needed to. Not worth explaining or showing, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I hope I'll survive this fight, man.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, luckily I have the Mega Axe, which is good against those guys. Yeah, and I'm getting a ground shock right away, which is actually somewhat decent because I wanna have the IP for the jelly, and I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna do champion now. Luckily Artie is faster. Like having Artie faster than the enemies is really helpful.
And yeah, most of the time it's gonna happen. So Artie's gonna outspeed a lot of enemies. What you want to make sure is that he's like optimally faster in Archfiends, which have 166 agility. As long as that is the case, so say you're at 170 agility, you're perfectly fine.
Perfectly
you're not,
fine.
Yeah, I mean,
you
you're
can
not gonna
encounter
get
any Archfiend.
That's not what I'm saying, but
yeah, I know what you meant.
raising your agility higher will not give you a significant advantage over any other enemy, you know. So 170 is kind of the gap you're trying to go for, and then of course, I mean, yeah, the faster the better because that raises your escape chances. But
yeah, if you want to check your status, just go into the equip menu on the character and you can see agility 165. So I will be actually not faster than the Archfiends. So
that's surprising, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we have to show an Archfiend encounter for the tutorial's sake, though. But
yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Nah, I can say state before. So I'm actually almost full IP with every character, so maybe I can try to bring that along. So you can see like the IP bar is filling every time I'm getting hit. And yeah, I need a full IP bar to execute all those like special attacks from the weapons that we need, like for example the Uncursed Deadly Rod attack, or hopefully the Fatal Blade. Yeah, hopefully Fatal Blow.
Fatal Blade out.
Fatal Layout.
So yeah, the Deadly Rod only needs 26 IP to use once. So since you're probably only want to use it twice, I mean, let's see, but that would be my guess. You should already have enough IP, as Reflect points out. But of course, anytime a character dies, the IP bar completely empties. So.
Alright, I just wanted to demonstrate how an encounter with these Archfiends can look like. So they're spawning on floor 72, going up until floor 87, so it's like really a large thing, and they're either showing up in double packs, which is really dumb and stupid, or they're showing up with a leech, which isn't like that much better. And let's just see what they're doing. So they're attacking, they're confusing, which is like actually the weakest thing they can do. Okay, now this was a perfect demonstration on how this is most of the time not looking.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So basically, the Archfiend and Leech encounter is one of the worst encounters you can get in the game. There is no way to surprise attack Archfiends, which means there is no way you can get a free turn in them. And yeah, as you can see, Artie is in a speed tie with Archfiends, meaning he's reasonably close to their agility. So you don't even know you're gonna get the first attack with Artie.
So you saw them doing a lot of damage, and if you can see the problem, if they're like standing in a doorway or something, you know, and you actually have to fight them, it can be really nasty, because in one turn they almost killed one of my party members already, and I have a really high level, I have good items, you know. In this case it was really fine, because now I have 100% IP on every party member. But yeah, don't use them to IP or farm. We'll talk about IP farming later. But yeah, just keep in mind they're really strong enemies. They can screw you up really fast. So get out of their way. Stay out of their activation radius. You know, if it's like this, you know, this is the radius. You can sort of safely walk around them. Don't get closer to them.
You can walk one tile further to the left, actually, because you know the left tile is the primary one. Chico points out in chat that you can equip the magic scale that's currently on Maxim on Artie as well, and that does provide a 10 agility boost. So with that, holy shit, this guy's so with that, you can actually get over the threshold that Artie needs to outspeed Archfiends every time.
Oh, but I don't have it. Okay.
Maxim has it. Apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know it boosts agility. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Problem is, every time I do strongest, it gets de-equipped. For whatever reason, because it's stronger than the power roll.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
weird.
Weird that way. I think Magic Scale is the only one that does that, but I mean, It's magic, you know.
Yeah, really magic. Shoutouts to devs.
If you're ever looking for an armor that boosts Maxim's attack power, that's the only option, really. Well, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Uncursed deadly armor aside.
Now, you know, this video doesn't have to be very thorough. You know, we're just showing the basic stuff. And basic stuff is that we still need some items, so yeah.
I mean, you're looking pretty good right now. I don't think you have a second Cancer or Hydora Rock, right? So
no,
there's only the one
any.
Cancer Rock.
Only one Cancer Rock I got out of the chest.
Yeah, so now with that Sky Sword, it would have been a really nice option to have a second one of those, because Mega Axe and Sky Sword would be great damage dealers. You might be able to get away with only the fractionals that you have and those 3 times attacks, and you might still. I mean, we haven't talked about the capsule a whole lot. So at the beginning of the run, you said choose Sully because he's arguably the best one for any percent. So the reason for that is, as you probably saw watching this video, Sully didn't do a whole lot. So the reason for that is that his agility is low, and unlike your characters, which you want to be fast, it's really good for a capsule to have low agility because you don't really want to rely on your capsule too much. Now on the jelly fight, those capsules can actually do some damage, so their agility doesn't matter there. But yeah, Sully famously is very RNG heavy. He can deal a lot of damage, but he can also just defend, and yeah, nothing will happen. It depends. So there's a lot of potential, but most of the time you just want to use Sully 1, never feed him. I'm going to go into feeding in a second. And I guess you want to explain dragons, maybe?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, most of the time you just want to use Sully 1 and be happy that he stays out of your way, unlike some other capsules. If you think Flash is a good option, then whatever, be my guest, run it. There is a couple of good other options, which is Zeppy, which is great for a lot of 3 times attacks, or the Gades Blade, because it boosts your team's attack power, or at least there's a chance to. And there is also Darby, which has the highest expected average damage that it deals. So with Sully being more RNG dependent, Darby is like the safer option, I want to say. As a beginner, I would probably suggest Darby or Sully, I want to say. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. You want to play around for sure. So yeah, I mentioned feeding. So capsules have different forms. As you can see, Sully's form 1 is the radish, which is not terribly impressive. You can actually feed some items to them that you don't need anymore, and you can bring them to higher forms. The higher forms come with higher stats and different attacks. So the different attacks in Sully's case are things like Battle Anger, which deal a ridiculous amount of damage, and yeah, other enemies like other capsules. Like I said, Zeppy has a party attack boost. So most of those things are really specific. You don't have to remember all that, but just know that the capsules are an option. They can provide some extra damage. They're by no means necessary to win the run, and do not feed items that you still need to.
Yeah, I luckily didn't do that.
That's not what I meant to say. I just meant in general.
Yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate that
Cursor on the curse lift
during your explanation. Yeah, I just pushed him to level 2, which I find very interesting because you can see the special attack is a Parish Punch. He rarely does this attack, but it's a one-shot chance for enemies. So let's see if he does it. If he does it, it's always like really hype, you know. And yeah, also dragons. So with the advent of floor 81, we have these lovely fellas walking around here. You saw these sprites before, but starting on floor 81, they're dragons. So you can see them. We have copper and silver dragons starting on floor 80, and already the silver dragons, you don't want to encounter them. They're really strong, they do double attacks, and they can cast something called Diamond Dust, and it really fucks you up. So don't encounter them. You only want to encounter copper dragons. The problem is copper dragons, silver dragons, as well as gold dragons, which we'll see later, all having the same sprite. Luckily that sprite is the slow movement pattern, though they move only like every third step. Anyway, make sure to only encounter copper dragons for the sake of IP farming or experience farming. Never encounter silver dragons or gold dragons intentionally. You only encounter them if they're like really standing in your way and you have to fight them.
Yeah, I mean, there is no meaningful way to, or there is no way to decide or to determine which dragon will be in an encounter before you encounter them. But
exactly. So if you're like,
what you mean is don't mess around with them unnecessarily.
Exactly. So if you're unsure, just get a place like I just did there and look into the fight, and now you see, okay, it's a copper and a silver. Okay, better not mess with them. You know?
What you're probably gonna do is be like, 80% of the deadly rod is gonna kill him, right? There is no way there. Yeah. So that obviously isn't gonna work most of the time.
Yeah, a single copper shouldn't be too dangerous. A single
copper isn't gonna kill
if you're level 30 plus. But yeah, even if you're like level 50 or something, a silver or a gold dragon can screw you up so quickly. You know, don't do it. Just don't.
We also hadn't talked about party setup because this one is arguably the optimal one for any percent. But if you have any of the girls, a copper dragon can't even kill them in one shot at levels like these. So you want to be careful about that as well. With the upcoming Selen percent being a thing.
Let's see about that. Can I get that chest? I think I can get this chest. Yeah. Oh, good thing I got that chest.
Oh, very nice.
That's a really good item.
It is a really good item. It's not as good as a Hidora Rock and a Sky Sword would have been, I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, it's still very nice.
That's interesting. Sky Sword, Mega X, Lizard Blow. That's like really top-notch weapons there. Problem is, none of these weapons are too good when it comes to the jelly fight. So, still looking forward to... They're good, but you know, like...
They're all kind of good.
There are no Decker Blade, you know? It's just I'm missing fractional weapons here, which is actually interesting because most of the time you're missing other weapons, but fractional weapons. But yeah, this time we're really missing the fractional weapons.
So you have a Gorgon Rock and 2 uses of the Deadly Rod, so you're looking at like 3,200 damage from that, maybe a bit more average. So yeah, you might be fine with a bit of help of Sully.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So still, this is the thing. I'm looking good, having good weapons, having good health. I'm having champion for healing spell. I have 8 miracles to revive my party members and 2 regains to revive my party members. So now I can, like, if I want to have that kill on the jelly, I can just like try to explore the rooms as far as possible. Not if I get that situation where I get like archfiends to the top and to the left. That is a really bad situation. So I hope the stairs are to the right here somewhere, so I don't have to encounter them. But this is looking like a rather large floor, so I'm just gonna make my way through and then explore as much as possible. Oh, yeah, bah. Okay. The thing is,
that's a good thing.
They don't have to be archfiends, but you know,
you're definitely like capable of killing them easily enough, and this situation might happen in any run. So, archfiends are pretty bad, but they're also not unbeatable. So,
yeah, I'm gonna use the Sky Sword just to be sure that I hopefully at least kill some of these guys. And I'm especially. Oh, Artie isn't faster than. Oh yeah, I probably unequipped the magic scale again from Artie because I did the strongest thing again. So Decker has the Sky Sword, which should be super effective against those guys. Oh no, it's Thunder. Shit, I forgot. I mistook it with the Fry Sword, but should kill them anyway, I guess.
Break, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now Decker has no more AP, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna AP farm later anyway. Okay, we have the stairs here, so I can safely open that chest, even though I'm not taking the aggro from that guy. I'm just always making super sure I'm fine here. And I'm trying to kill that Gorgon just to get the additional Gorgon Rock.
You will not be surprised that I'm gonna say if you know the movement patterns inside out, you don't need to make extra sure. You just know the Archfiend isn't gonna come after you.
Yeah, that is true, but you know, better safe than sorry, you know.
Oh yeah, knowing it's not gonna come after you is safe.
Rather stay one tile further away than one tile too close. So what am I doing here? I'm gonna lurk this guy around here. Alright. Good. So now we have 14 more floors to get our setup. I know I don't have a kill, you know, like we guys in the
You
AC.
could have a kill, yeah.
We really like to talk about do you have a kill or not. What we mean is, do we have enough items to actually kill the jelly? So right now I do not have a kill. I might have a kill, but
not a guaranteed one, yeah.
Not a guaranteed one. So that's why I'm opening more chests. You know, it could be the case that we're Paris Punch. Nice. So that was the beauty of developing Solid to level 2, which is actually a really decent strat. I did that for quite a while when I was running the cave.
Yeah, it's not reliable unless you're in a Jelly Jam tourney, but it's definitely helpful at times. It's just gonna save you some time every once in a while.
This was very bad. Oh god. Okay, let's see if I can actually survive.
Oh wow,
this.
You went for the Archfiend over the Genius. That's interesting.
Maybe I should load the save state. Well, we'll see. Let's see how double Archfiends screw you up.
They're already using Stronger, you're fine.
Yeah. And Thunder, this could be actually just good IP for him. Oh yeah, actually everyone survived, but yeah. Okay.
Oh, you escaped. What?
Yeah, you said I should go for the genies, and I guess
Oh, I see.
I'll take the 50-50. Even though the genies could kill me very quickly as well, you know.
I guess.
If they do their, you know, their attack incendiary or the ground shock. Luckily they are absorbing the MP from Decker, because he has no MP. I should do a lot of damage to them with a Mega X.
Yeah.
Mega X was Sky, actually. Mega X and Sky Sword. Double Thunder, we have Double Thunder. Double Thunder boys here.
Yeah, you've got really lucky with the weapons.
Yeah, like these weapons are super when it comes to fighting through the cave, but regarding Flex von Laser, vielen Dank. They're like really not that helpful when it comes to when it comes to the jelly kill.
True.
Alright, let's see. Oh, there's nothing down here. So
and again, they would have been helpful if you would have gotten a Hedora or a Cancer, a second one.
Yeah.
In that case, there would be amazing options right now.
That very much is true, but still
I think you can get past those Archfiends, by the way, without killing them.
Yeah, I just thought the same. Let's see if that works. I just wanted to say, I'm rather looking for a decent kill, like with a Myth Blade or a Decker Blade, so I keep opening chests. And we're full on the IP though, so let's see. Can heal up here for free, nice.
Oh, I meant just using the top room, because once you get past the Hades, they're gonna be right at the end of the room, you know. But by just starting on the left side here of this room, yeah, or just like that, it was already enough. Yeah.
Let's see if I get the quadruple thunder. Starting out nice. Okay, now we can see how an Archfiend encounter can also look like. Oh god.
Well, the good news is it wasn't a quad thunder.
So luckily this is a tutorial, so we can save state here. I don't know where I am right now.
You should load state.
Yeah, I did load state. Sure as hell I did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually the same floor. I recognize it.
You didn't miss anything on the top left, so.
Yeah, that was nothing, right? So let's go down here. No, don't worry about the music. It will come back. Good fight, good night, right? Were the stairs down here, actually?
I have no idea. I didn't see him anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess me neither. Well, let's see. If not, we can load the save state again.
Could be a soft lock floor. That would be funny.
That would be very funny, yeah. Alrighty. The stairs are down here. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. Be aware of archfiends. We just saw why. Always back attack genies. Always try to do that. Finalize equipment. Okay, so I guess that's what we're just doing right now. So let's.
So would you consider
that.
your equipment finalized?
Not yet. I need that iris ring. So that's a totally useless item. It's a useless item for a useless category. Oh, nice. So, old sword. That's actually really helpful.
Yeah, it is.
That's 1/6 fractional. Still no Decker Blade, so maybe we'll find that still.
Yeah, but honestly, right now, I wouldn't even be using the Cancer Rock with it.
You can do that, yeah. You can use the Cancer Rock once and the old sword IP attack on the jelly.
Yeah, I guess I kind of abbreviated the whole situation and could have gone more into it for the tutorial.
Yeah.
But, yeah. My bad. I guess we can get into it more when we're at the actual jelly fight. And
yeah, until then, there's not too much happening on these floors. Up until floor 87, which we're currently on, there's still archfiends appearing and the leeches, so be aware of those guys. Starting on floor 88, it gets a little more chill, I would say. The enemies are still fucking strong because you have gold dragons and you have these motherfuckers, which are called dark summoners. Don't ever encounter them. They're really annoying.
I mean, you can IP farm on them occasionally, but
yeah,
as a beginner, I would not recommend it.
No, you shouldn't.
And you should be really careful about them.
They can one-shot you.
Around doors.
They can one-shot you, so don't do it.
So, you still have the notes up there for 71 to 80, and I'm quite curious what you got for floor 80 to 90. And even more, 90 to 98.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
I hope you agree with that.
Don't die. Oh, okay, I see. Good strats. Good strats.
Alright. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun floor. Like, oh, this is gonna be very much fun. Okay, so now we're gonna see why we have to be able to handle dragons. That's really one important thing. Handling dragons. I'm gonna save state abuse here a lot though, because I really don't have the time to go through all that shenanigans. But you saw me just preparing the dragons in a situation where I can safely back attack them.
Obviously, in this situation, you already saw the shadow on the left, so you know the room or the hallway doesn't extend to left, but it could still extend to right. So you kind of would want the dragon to be further on the left, and you could just escape. In that case, you had to kill him, but that's fine. So again, all these dragons could be double golds for all we know, and gold dragons mean, or rather, copper dragons have 1 attack, silver dragons have 2 attacks, and gold dragons have 3 attacks. So wow.
Don't do this. Don't do this. If you're running the game normally, don't do this. I'm just gonna.
Nice tutorial.
Yeah, I'm just trying to battle through here just to get further because like.
Instead of showing what you could do in this situation,
yeah, and we'd be stuck for like 5 minutes here. Like if we get this, if he's like in the corner here. That's what we want to have. We want to stand like in a sort of 90-degree angle here and have him so we have 1, 2 and back attack him. That's what we usually want to have. So let's hope this is gonna work out as well. And yeah, double silvers, it's also no picnic, so let's hope Artie does its job. Okay, that was very nice.
Yeah, so especially in beginner runs, you might be a couple of hours into the run. You might even have a time that is like slower than what's currently on the timer for Bamboo. That's like nothing to worry about, you know, like your runs are gonna get better as you progress, and the run scales really well with how many, like if you're not as experienced, you can compensate for that by opening more chests and beating more enemies, so obviously that takes more time. Just as a reference point, I would say any run between 145 and 130 is like a good beginner, like not the first kind of run, you know, but after you did like 5 runs or something, that would be the time to aim for in the runs to come.
I would say for beginners, everything between 130 and 2 hours is pretty well.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2 hours is actually rather easy to achieve. So
yeah, if you still have to play it safe, you know, and you're not allowed to do any mistakes on dark summoners and dragons and whatnot. And you know, for us it seems like really free because we're like doing a lot of cave runs and shit. But I guess it's like really easy to do like a movement error on some dragon and just get fucked up, and then you have to start from the top again. So
yeah, sure, but I'm not saying you have to do it first try. You know, I'm just saying like 145 to 130 is like 2 hours is. I mean, you know. You can disagree, of course.
That's not too difficult. I agree to that. It's not too difficult, but you still, you know, be careful. Like, you know, if you're unsafe, just do it like I do. Start a step, take your time, watch the enemies on where they move, how they move.
Yeah, like on the first couple of runs, definitely try to understand what's going on. You know, why. Make sure you know why you're moving here and there. And try understanding enemy movement patterns. Try not to do what Bamboo just did if you can avoid it, because Jesus, why are you even here?
And just you know, exploring the floor. Maybe then there was a chest with a decker blade. Who knows? Counting on floor 98 decker blade.
So as I was saying, like at the very least, that would be my guess for what a beginner's time should look like after a couple of runs. Like maybe, you know, 10 runs or something. I'm talking completed runs. You should definitely have a time of like 145, I would say. It's not too hard to achieve. So once you're getting better, I mean, you should be, when you're really familiar with a cave, beating a time of like 111 shouldn't be too hard, and sub 1 hour is kind of considered the like the top runner area, if you want. with some exceptions that kind of smuggle themselves in there.
Shout out to Dragon CO, I guess.
Wow.
Shots fired. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. What's happening here?
Yeah, so even though the world record is 45 minutes, if you can make a sub 1 hour run, that's already terribly impressive.
Okay, let's see if
Especially if it's your first run.
Fucked up by dragons.
Okay, so come to backup strats. With a smoke ball, you can escape the battle 100% of the time when the character who's using it has its turn, so Decker here. So this allows you to both escape and attack in the same turn. And the other option in this situation would have been to use the smoke wall with Artie to safely get away. So here you kind of gambled on the deadly rod, killing the gold dragon, but that's fine, really.
Yeah, I made a safe step before, so you know, didn't have to.
Yeah, well, I'm talking.
Yeah, sure.
Normal run scenarios. Yeah.
Thing is, like, right now we're kind of through with the run. We're just like farming items to hopefully still being able to kill the jelly, and that's what basically you have to do if you're sure, like we are right now, that our items are not sufficient to deal enough damage. We gotta deal 10,000 damage on the jelly.
Well, I'm saying it could work. Yeah.
It could work. Well, we'll figure it out. But now we have the classic floor 90 plus scenario where we just have like a fucking Dragon Con going on here. So
I mean, I'm gonna go out of my way and say that this should be a kill due to the old sword that you found.
might be
Also, would not have slashed those bushes, but
no, I can go the other way, so
I guess so.
worked out. Oh, nice. Second lizard blow. Well,
That is
lizard
some
blow
very
is the
interesting
strongest.
RNG.
Yeah, lizard blow is the strongest 3 times attack weapon, and it's really strong against dragons. Actually, if you have to fight them without the oh shit.
Without a deadly weapon.
That was actually really bad. I'm gonna load my save state just because I don't wanna fucking battle them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so thanks for demonstrating that.
how to not play the cave.
Yeah, you really shouldn't encounter dark summoners near doors, or make
Yeah.
sure they're as far away from doors, or far enough away from doors before
You'll figure it out once you rip your run on them.
Or if you pay
At
careful
best,
attention
just
to
like-
what Bamboo just did
Yeah.
before.
Just like, make them go away as far as possible. Just don't.
Yeah, so one thing to do is when they teleport, like, don't move afterwards. Just slash your sword a couple of times. Just stand still, slash
yeah.
your sword. They're eventually gonna end up on the other side of you. And so this isn't the best kind of hallways. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
trying
cheating
to
a
show
little
how
bit.
to run the cave if you get perfect RNG, or?
No, it's just like for tutorial purposes,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Now, like we've
someone's
talked
gonna get
about,
that corridor,
Yeah, we talked about 2-tile hallways and dragons before.
I guess so.
Yeah, sometimes
Just get lucky.
try to manipulate them as best as possible just by slashing and stuff, Make them go out of your way. Just like that. Sort of like that. If they're cooperating, I mean, you're at their mercy, basically, Alrighty. Oh god, this is the perfect example. Like, here I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take a risk. Or not. That was actually good. Because,
Very nice.
yeah, that's how you play the cave. Another silver sword, I don't want it there.
I mean, I will say, you're doing a lot of safe states here, but you're actually
I'm still
very safe,
Yeah, I'm
so
still playing safe. I just want to, I would just want us to see the jelly fight after like 2.5 hours of like stupid tutorial and shit,
Sure. Yeah, but like, for once, dragons never kill anyone. There's actually a good chance you're gonna survive a dragon encounter, even if it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
Of course, you still don't want to risk anything if you can help it, but if you can't help it for whatever reason, there's still a chance you can get out of it. If you mistakenly run into an archfiend encounter, that might not always go as nicely. But yeah, this is slowly but surely approaching the end of the run. So floor 98 is the last floor that still has chests. So if you're looking for any equipment, if you're looking to still IP farm, make sure you do that beforehand. Second old sword, well, that's useless though.
Kind of, I guess. I don't know, maybe double old sword could be a strat.
Could be, but it's not.
Why not?
Not in this case. Well,
I mean,
that
I
would
have
put
the
you at
finisher.
3 fractional users, so
Yeah, we have
3 bad fractional users.
Decker, Guy, and Artie. I mean, well, regarding I have double lizard blow, I guess probably that I shouldn't do it, yeah.
You can do it, but since you get double deadly rod, it's... I don't know. It might be good because, I mean, the rest of your equipment isn't great either. But I wouldn't go for double old sword.
Double lizard and old cancer. Double lizard. Oh yeah, on Maxim and.
Yeah, now that you get the double lizard blood,
Yeah.
that's definitely a thing.
Double lizard is a thing. Oh, double gold dragons. Do we want to do them? Let's see. We have terror balls. If you have to battle them, and I might be having to battle them because there are stairs
So,
to the left.
first of all, you could escape here and just walk to the left, and you get a 50% chance of
50%
them
chance,
moving
yeah.
down or right. But if they move up or left, they do encounter you. So
If they're dead, you know. Okay, I'm gonna do a save state here. And we're gonna load that save state.
until we find the Deca Blade.
Or a myth blade, okay. I guess now we're talking. So,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be really
Okay, so
nasty.
spoilers, this is not gonna happen in your runs, guys.
Yeah.
Whoever's watching this, it's not gonna happen.
Oh,
Why did you... Okay, so in that situation, if a teleports right on top of you, hold in the direction you're walking. So if you would have held down here, then you would have safely gotten away from the Dark Summoner. But because you only pressed down once, they immediately teleported behind you and encountered you.
and I screwed up my floor with a myth blade. How about that?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, there we go. I have it again. Okay. Now let's make sure I'm actually gonna make it through this floor.
Yeah, here's the RNG manip tutorial included.
Okay, what am I gonna do here?
Just encounter them and kill them.
The Dark Summoners, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to IP farm anyway, so...
I like the... Oh, don't use IP. I would have, like, double thundered and then... do something. Oh, okay, you didn't use IP.
Oh, they're calling the... something. Well, okay, now is the time... Oh, we haven't talked about IP farming at all, actually, because I was always so busy with finding the right items. Irish Punch! Not on this guy, though. Yeah, but like, you can see the IP bar from Decker is not full, but we want it to be full. So he can... I don't know, Decker is gonna have the Myth Blade, I guess, right? So now, what I'm doing right now, I'm holding up...
Maxim's gonna have the Myth Blade.
Maxim? And Decker the Old Sword, really?
Well, Old Cancer, yeah.
Okay, that sounds decent enough. But still, for Olden Cancer, he needs 100% IP. And you can see if you're using status, and we're watching through, he only has 14. So what we're doing now, we're doing IP farming, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, I think you're looking at guy with the Myth Blade, Maxim with the Old Sword, and Decker with
Old Sword and Cancer.
Something.
Yeah, that should work. Alright, so now IP farming. Basically, we're looking forward to have a Copper Dragon here somewhere. Let's see if one of these dragons is a copper, or if they're like gonna surround me. Well, let's see if maybe these guys are copper dragons. That would be sweet. Okay, they're coppers. That's actually nice. Oh.
Yeah, so what you're looking for, which is probably what Bamboo's going to show here, trying to single out the copper, and you're basically going to try and wait for it to do Cinderblast, which hits your whole party for a bunch of damage, but not enough to kill any of these guys.
But before doing that, and that's why I'm escaping here, sorry, is put Sully to level 1.
Yeah,
Always
so basically,
remember that. Yeah.
Once you have a single capsule, once you have a single copper, then make sure your capsule isn't able to kill him. So if you already have Sully on a high level or something, then just put it down to 1. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you pretty much when I get a single copper, gets in the blasted or well, single attacked, and then you're just gonna go into battle over and over. If your levels are too low to survive, if your levels are too low to outspeed coppers, which is probably not gonna happen, then you can escape. So just escape from battle, heal up, get in battle again, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there is no way that's gonna happen at any percent though, at least not at the level where Artie is still gonna survive, I would say. The other thing is Decker right now is getting very little IP, probably because he has strong gear on. I assume you didn't unequip your...
Oh yeah, I should have done that, you're
armor.
right. Or not heal him up, that was my bad. I shouldn't have healed him up.
So they also gain more IP if they're already damaged, in terms of having taken damage before.
I mean, I could unequip Decker's gear just to like...
yeah, you definitely should.
Remove all... Whoa. I can't... I guess I have too many items. Okay. Time to feed the capsule monster more, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I have too many items. Hello? They don't take explosions level 2, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. He's spoiled. He's still spoiled, I guess.
Well, you're feeding bullshit, so...
Yeah,
I think he would still take miracles, but... Yeah,
spoil him.
Before. So the feeding is kind of iffy. There is, in Creek's guide that I linked before, there is a list of how exactly it works, and if you want, you can look at that. It's actually really useful to know, but especially if you're starting out, I guess just feed the useless shit. If you know you get good stuff like the Ruse armor, feed it later on, because it's worth more, and your like the higher up capsules only want the rare stuff, or get more bars from the rare stuff, and that's kind of what you're looking for. So that's basically feeding in a nutshell. If he asks for items, like here the Silver Rod, you can actually feed those. They're gonna give you a couple of extra bars. There are some items where he will not actually gain bars, even though it says it will, like the Gladius famously. But there's other items like the War Appear that he almost always wants, or always wants. But yeah, generally speaking, just do your best to get your capsule to the level you want. In this case, it's Sully 3 or 4. And, well, if you can get Sully to 4, then 4 is better. Oh yeah, there is also an item called Magic Fruit, which is gonna give you 8 bars at one time, as Ben would just use here. You obviously want to use that at the later stages, because it always gives you 8 bars, no matter whether it's 1 or 5, 1 or 4, so...
Yeah, but I'm gonna continue the feeding later, because right now we're just gonna... I don't know why I equipped this guy, sort of. I don't wanna battle that guy at all, but yeah. Whatever. Just continue the IP farm.
You went from full equip to almost no equip, but it should still be fine.
Yeah.
So another thing to keep in mind here is that Artie needs to have enough MP to cast things like Champion a couple of times in a row.
Oh, that's also one way to deal with Sully.
Yeah.
Shake down himself.
Also, in trying to get a single copper, you don't want to use spells like Destroy or Perish. We have neither of those, I think, but those dragons always casting Mirror on themselves, you'll just reflect it back to you, and you might kill one of your characters and even create a more terrible IP situation that you started out with.
Yeah. So for Cinnablast, that's what we want to see actually. Nice, it does like 300 damage on Decker, that's good. Actually what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna be cocky and I'm only using Champion on the other guys, not on Decker. So...
Why?
He's gonna survive the next Cinnablast, hopefully. There we go, good boy. That was kind of risky. Don't do that in
Yeah,
your runs.
like,
Don't do
and
that in your runs.
Pretty unnecessary as well, because the Cineblast probably would have filled him up anyway.
Yeah. But it worked. We're fine. So now just attack, kill him. Nice.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
if
that's
you're
100. Status 100. 100 on each. Nice. I just didn't want to prolong this because we're all like past 2.5 hours. But yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now re-equip Decker, of course. He had the Fundo Jewel. And no ring. Okay, should be fine. I don't like the magic scale. Oh, I fed the magic scale already. Nice move, Bamboo Shadow. Nice move. Oh no, Maxim has it. Okay.
It wouldn't make too much of a difference one way or another, but
189 agility. That's pretty decent. Okay.
Although you probably want to have it on Maxim for the jelly fight. Just saying.
Does it make a difference?
Well, you get slightly bigger attack power, so
Ah, okay. Yeah.
depending on what you're going for. But RD isn't going to need it because
Ah, this floor.
you are going to use the Deadly Rod twice. And
This is a tricky floor, so I'll try to do my best to steer through here. Oh god. This is really challenging. I'm glad I'm able to do a save state here.
you're doing good.
So far, but you know. Let's see if I can keep the Dark Summon away from it. Oh, that's actually a perfect outcome. And it's only single copper. If those guys would have been like bad dragons,
Bad dragons.
like silvers or golds, you know. But that's one way to play the room. Alrighty, so jelly time, I guess.
Yeah, so
I guess I'm just gonna do stuff and maybe you can commentate it.
yeah, so first of all, Bamboo's gonna curse lift Artie, so we can actually use the Deadly Rod's IP attack. You don't want to forget about that. Then one thing is bringing your capsule to the stage you want. That apparently is next. So as long as you're sure that you can get form 4 in Sully in this case, or whichever capsule form you want, then feed away. If you don't think you can make it, like after a while you're gonna get a sense for that, then you're better off skipping it. Like especially in Sully's case, you're good enough. Generally speaking, you might want to do your jelly equip before you feed, but apparently Bamboo has a plan. So
That's right, yeah. I know what items not to feed, I guess, so.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you won't be able to get into 4 without feeding some of those, but let's see, maybe.
I mean, the
Not
holy
entirely
whip, I
sure
know
what
the
you
whips can't be equipped by any of my party members,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Also Thunder
So-
Axe, I don't need that.
Next part we want to do is, or rather, what you want to do before feeding a capsule is getting the jelly set up. So right now we're having a lot of items. So personally, I would put the Myth Blade on Maxim, simply because he's acting first. Then put Delira on Artie, of course, because it's already there. We have a Cancer Rock, and I'm not sure whether to use the Cancer Rock with the old sword or a strong Decker weapon. So I'm thinking we might be fine using Mythblade, Deadly Rod, and then Elizablow and Sky Sword and Cancer. But at the very least, that's what I would do. But I could also say, I could also see if you were doing Elizablow and Decker, holding Cancer on Guy, or the other way around, actually. Oh, probably this way.
Okay, so we have the capsule monster, so now we.
So let's see what Bamboo's doing.
I guess I want to have on Decker the. I guess I want to have the Cancer Rock on Decker.
Alright.
And with that, there goes the old sword. Did I feed that one time? No, it's equipped to Maxim. Okay.
Old Sword and Decker?
Yeah, along with the Cancer Rock, right?
I wouldn't do that.
Why is that?
But like, if you're gonna use the old sword, you want to put it on Guy because you're gonna use the fractional first turn. Decker is gonna do slightly more damage, and I mean, if you want to use old sword and Cancer,
well, I guess it doesn't matter really.
I guess you can do that as well. Like personally, I would have done Mythblade on Maxim, what I just said, then old sword.
The thing is, my Gorgon Rod became really useless actually.
Yeah. Well, you can still equip it with
Maxim.
The Mythblade on Maxim, yeah. And then use Elizablow on Guy and Sky Sword and Cancer on Decker. Like that's what I would do, but
yeah, I guess I have to put a so-called finisher. Would you put Elizablow on Decker?
Well, the Sky Sword is stronger, so if you want to use a Cancer Rock, then
No. I want the finisher on Guy.
Yeah.
So
Elizablow and Sky Sword are both.
That's actually what I would do. Old Sword and Cancer on Decker, Elizablow on Guy, Maxim with Mythblade, and Artie with Uncursed Deadly Rod. That could be a kill.
You're planning on using 3 fractionals?
Yeah, that's what I do. I actually plan to use 4 times a fractional attack because I'm doing Old Sword, Mythblade, and Deadly Rod, and on second turn Deadly Rod again. And then something else. I don't know.
It's your run, man.
Yeah. So that's one way to go, but basically for the cases of the tutorial, yeah, like use some fractional attacks. We don't have the Dagger Blade, but we have Old Sword and the Myth Blade, which is nice because you can see if you press the X button and then right, it reduces by 1/4. The Deadly Rod, the Uncursed Devastation does 1/8, and we can use that twice because it does like, it only needs how much IP?
26.
26, okay. So yeah.
Percent, that is. So.
I guess I'm just gonna try. Maybe I'm gonna do a save state before, and then we can, if it's not working, we can talk about other setups and whatnot.
Yeah, it sounds good. Or just do both and see that I was right.
We have...
I mean, Sully's gonna be so much RNG on this one, so...
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna like to rename my Caps Monster to RC so I can blame Recritical if it goes badly.
Nice.
And also, always remember, I've done this a couple of times, always remember to refreshen your MP. Now I have 150 on each characters, but if, for example, if you find a spell called Trick, which boosts your agility, which is really helpful, not your agility, your attack power, which is really helpful, then don't forget to refresh your MP. Just use a miracle on each, just to be safe. Okay, so let's see if we can kill a jelly with that setup.
I don't know if someone else wants to do the counting. I don't want to annoy the viewers with my typing.
No, go ahead. So RC is typing in a calculator how much damage we're doing, so... talking about the jelly fight, we want to have the party members with the strongest fractional attacks in the front row, which is Maxim and Decker in this case. We're gonna have Guy a normal attack and Artie also doing, of course, though, the fractional attack. So let's see how much damage we can deal in that turn 1. Guess that wasn't too bad. Maybe like
just under 5,000.
Yeah, maybe like this. I don't know if this is good what I'm doing here.
Oh, someone is calculating damage. Well, thanks a lot for telling me. Then I'll
the rolls were not too good, but we'll see if I can.
The rolls are shoddy.
Yeah.
29% and 17%.
Well, I'm just gonna try to do something here. It was good to do another devastation with Artie, but Guy from the back row is really weak, I have to say. So we're gonna put Guy in the front row now, and let's just see what happens.
See defense.
I guess Artie could even do devastation once more. because it doesn't have a good
It's gonna
spell.
do 410 damage on average, so way less in the back row.
Okay. Okay, so now we ended up at...
Oh wow, he didn't get the kill. 9,006 damage.
Okay, so let's try another setup then. I mean, like,
Yeah,
that's...
so what happens if you don't kill the jellies? You still get the death animation, as you can see here. But
he
like, don't get fooled, like this does not count as a kill.
Yeah.
So if you missed whether you got the kill or not for some reason and you skipped the message, then if you do not have the ancient key, then you didn't get the kill.
Okay. So that was like my approach. Let's try RC's approach now.
Alright.
What was your setup?
Cancer Rock and Sky Sword and Decker.
Sky Sword, okay. Okay.
And then, oh yeah, Stream Delay. Lizard Blow on Guy. And then Thunder Jewel. And then a Max and Myth Blade and whatever Camera Jeweler. Gorgon Rock probably.
Okay.
Whatever is stronger. And
yeah, it actually sounds decent because
the magic scale and maximum.
Because actually sounds decent because Artie has the advantage of doing the fractional attack twice with a deadly rod.
Exactly.
So this is like more damage output towards the end and less fractional attacks. So this might work out really well. So well, let's do a save state. Try this once more.
Let's see. Also, like if this is gonna be a kill, we're still gonna check what Sully does because he only did 2 regular attacks for you. I think, or even just one. I think just one for you. That did like 221 damage, or something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sully didn't do too much.
Also terrible rolls, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Thunder with Maxim from the back row.
You could attack with him, with a Myth Blade. I would attack personally.
Attack did like 250 damage earlier, so from the back row. So I guess Thunder is better with 280.
Okay,
Doesn't matter much.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, let's see. Guess I'm gonna do even Devastation one more time because, like, no, 300.
Not from the back row.
Well, it was around 300. Would have been the same as Thunder, I guess.
I think Thunder should have been stronger.
Yeah, who knows. Okay, Sully did at least attack 3 times, so this time we got closer, I guess.
Yeah, not terribly closer. No. It's 9,500.
Okay, okay. So I guess we're just gonna do this one more time. And, you know, like, this is the thing. If you don't have the Decker Blade, this is super tricky.
I mean, so the thing is, when you enter floor 98, your rolls for the first round are already set. Like, there is no way you can affect RNG from that point out. So we both got terrible fractionals. Both Bamboo is in my setup, I mean, in the first round, and that is due to those rolls. So.
Oh really? Yeah. So there's no changing that. But we could the capsule RNG can be different.
Capsule RNG can be different in round 2 and 3, yeah. But the first round, he's always gonna do a regular attack with 221 damage.
Okay, I'm just gonna try it once again.
Actually, with a different setup.
Okay,
I think he's always gonna do an attack, but.
Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time, just for the sake of whatever, you know. Yeah.
Wait to change.
And then we can do another setup.
Oh, you're doing the same battle?
Yeah, just like see if there's something different happening.
Oh, you have to do some different in order to get some different. You know?
Okay, then let's escape and do the battle once again.
Well, I mean, you could do Thunder with Maxim instead of, you know, or attack with Maxim instead of doing Thunder, for example.
Animation time has to be different. I don't know.
Not sure it matters here, Traffic Tux. Like, it could be. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so like, I just wanted, you know, for the sake of the tutorial, I just wanted to show people a kill. So, what do you suggest, RC?
Play again. Get a Deca Blade. I don't know, like with those rolls for the fractionals of the first round, it's not pretty, but I don't think there is a kill in this setup. You can of course try doing a different thing, like maybe go with a setup, use the Myth Blade instead of Thunder, and try getting a different attack out of Sully. That's what you can do.
Well, let's try.
I mean, there is really no other meaningful way you can really improve on the battle, I don't think. At least I don't see a better setup. Which doesn't have to mean anything at fucking 2:30 in the morning. But
it is already 2:30, how about that? Oh. Okay, well, let's see. At least we can hear the lovely music once again. I had the feeling the Battle Fury roll was different. Alrighty.
Well, in the first run, you used Devastation from the back row.
Did I?
Well, yeah, intentionally, because you had the Old Sword and the Myth Blade.
Oh, the very first, okay. Oh, E-defense, nice.
I should double input it.
Well...
It's exactly the same deck, so until the point where Maxim uses a regular attack instead of Thunder, so the third one will be different. But I messed up the calculations, so...
Headbutt! Ah, okay, that was closer, I guess.
Damn. Yeah, that must have been like...
Okay, really close according
Yeah,
to
there
Dexter.
you go.
Okay. Well, we had a few different scenarios. Do we want that kill? Should we try this again, or just should we call
I don't
it a day?
see a way to improve it. I mean,
Alrighty.
unless I'm missing something that someone can point out.
Well, we just can randomly swap items around, you know. Well, it's just, you know, for the sake of experimenting, you know, because
Yeah.
just we can. Let's just try this. I don't know.
Well, you can just edit the video, you know, and just you know, put a different jelly fight
Cheat
in
in
there.
a
and just
Decker
play.
blade into there.
Yeah.
Let's see. You know, Decker is the strongest guy. Let's put the strongest weapon, the Myth Blade, on him. Let's try the Lizard Blow.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense though. So the Myth Blade and Decker, the reason you don't want to pretty much ever have the Myth Blade and Decker unless you have a cancer with it or something, is that the Myth Blade is your strongest fractional one. And it like if you put it in Maxim, it will go first, you know, before Guy or Decker do their regular attacks. So
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
yeah.
That makes totally sense. So rather put it on Maxim. But then maybe swap only Decker and Guy, I guess. Put
I mean, you could put
put
the
the Lizard
magic
Blow.
scale on Artie.
put the Lizard Blow on Decker along with the Cancer Rock. And on Guy the Old Sword. Now what would he have on Guy?
Yeah, but the Sky Sword is better than the Lizard Blow.
Oh no, he does. Oh, Lizard Blow does cost how much? Okay, let's look into the AC ref.
A Lizard Blow is 65%.
So I can't do the Cancer Rock attack along with that, right? No, I can't.
Use Cancer instead of Lizard, then you don't have the Cancer Rock for the Sky Sword.
Well, there's a lot of difference between the Sky Sword. Okay.
I mean, Sky Sword and Cancer is definitely the play here, I feel. Mythblade and Maxim is the best you can do next to that, so that leaves Sky. And what are you gonna do with Gaia? Then Lizablow and Thunder Jewel,
I guess just swap them. Just gonna swap them. Just gonna do Guy with Sky Sword and Cancer Rock, and Decker with, what was that? Old Sword.
Lizablow and Thunder Jewel.
Lizablow and Thunder Jewel, yeah.
You can gamble for rolls here, but it's definitely not the optimal setup.
Yeah.
The reason being that Decker has more attack power than Guy, so stronger the weapon is, the more suitable it is for Decker. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, maybe we can get other attacks from.
I'm just explaining it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what Artie has equipped. He does. Well, whatever. Whatever. That's another combination to try it.
Silver Eye is better for Artie because it boosts intelligence. So.
The what?
Silver Eye is better on Artie because it boosts intelligence.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought I just checked. Whatever. Mythblade. Well. Okay. Well, we'll see. Gonna be interesting. Maybe we'll get triple battle anger and get a kill.
Well, you cannot get triple battle anger. But you could get double battle anger.
Double battle anger, yeah. The first roll is again normal. Yeah, that's right. It's 2-2-1 from Sully, normal attack. Well, we'll see. Yeah. This is not working out, I guess.
Could be.
Let's see. Yeah, way too much HP. If Devastation from the back row still does 360 damage, then it's not
that
enough.
was a good roll then.
I guess at Shell you still have too much IP. HP. Okay, I guess close again.
9,500.
Alrighty, so we're close.
52.
Not too close, but yeah. I guess that about wraps it up for today. I mean, like, you can see with the Decker Blade, we would be like having half of the jelly HP gone already. And like this demonstrate already again how difficult it is to actually kill the jelly without the Decker Blade, because we have quite decent items, I would say. I don't know how I would further improve them without the Decker Blade.
In this case, you just got screwed by the rolls. So what you did here in this battle, for example, in this last battle, was the Battle Fury from the Mythblade that did 32% of its potential damage.
Yeah.
The second one was... No, wait, that was Devastation. Then the Mythblade did 29% of its potential damage, so the larger damage got even cut shorter. And then, the second Devastation did 79%, but that's not gonna save it.
Yeah. Oh, also what we totally missed talking about, the US version of the game is somewhat bugged. So don't worry, this last floor always looks like that. It's just like badly programmed. But you saw us, you know.
What do you mean? It looks totally normal.
You just move straight up, and then the thing is happening where the jelly appears, and you just like press A and fight him. But yeah, like obviously they sort of last minute or something probably changed the code, and they screwed up this floor sprite wise. So yeah, shoutouts to developers. They made a great yeah. We can also put a link to the description in below on how this floor usually is supposed to look like. But yeah, just move up. But I guess aside from that not having a kill, I guess we showed that it's possible, especially if you get a Decker Blade. We weren't that fortunate, but we got, aside from that, we got good items. I guess we got most of the important items, and we're able to talk about most of the important stuff like capsule monster leveling. And even if we haven't talked about some stuff specifically, maybe you can just like figure it out by watching the video. And if not, we always recommend, if you're gonna speedrun the Lufia II Ancient Cave, always stream it on Twitch and put in Lufia 2 for the game, and you know, surely we'll find you and maybe you know, watch and talk about it and maybe give you some advice, or just join the Lufia 2 Discord, which is I guess also linked on speedrun.com. And in chat maybe we'll put a link in the description as well. But yeah, I guess that should be enough. Like 3 hours Ancient Cave, quick and dirty tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope maybe this helps someone who wants to get into speedrunning Lufia II Ancient Cave. Like I said, like we said, you know, this doesn't cover every aspect of speedrunning the cave, but you know, it should be like just a quick and dirty tutorial if you want to get further information and just like a thorough perspective on how to play the cave. Look into the Google Doc of Kriegspire and other sources of information. But yeah, I hope this was like somewhat entertaining and educational, whatever. Yo, thanks RC for doing that with me. I really enjoyed it a lot, I have to say.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I guess that's a wrap for us. I really have to pee after 3 hours. And yeah, sure enough, I'm gonna highlight this, and yeah, let's see if somebody's watching that and if that's like some stuff that helps actually other runners get into speedrunning a cave. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys.